Thank God for slavery. I thank God for the crack house. If it wasn't for the crack house, come on somebody, God wouldn't have never been able to use me how he can use me now. And if it wasn't for slavery, I might be somewhere in Africa worshiping a tree. I thank God for slavery.
Yeah, check it out, check it out. Locked in. Yeah, check it. Hot damn black America again. Think of Sandra Bland as I'm staring in the wind. The color of my skin, they comparing it to sin. The darker it gets, the less fairer it has been. The hate made, I inherited from them. But I ain't gonna point the finger. We got anointed singers like Nina, Marvin, Billy, Stevie. Need to hear them songs. Sometimes to believe me, who freed me? Lincoln a Cadillac, drinking a battle raps. Or is it Godspeed that we travel at? Endangered in our own habitats. Them guns and dope, man. Y'all can have it back. As a matter of fact, we them lab rats. You built the projects for, now you want your hood back. I guess if you could rap, you would express it too. That PTSD, we need professionals. You know what pressure do. It makes the pipes bust. From schools to prison, y'all. They trying to pipe us to your political parties, invite us instead of making voting laws to spite us. You know, we from a family of fighters, fought in your wars and our wars. You put a nigga in Star Wars, maybe you need two. And then maybe then we'll believe you. See black people in the future. We wasn't shipped here to rob and shoot ya. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women are created equal, including black Americans. Yeah, that's black America again. I'm gonna do another verse for me. Check it out. From the same thing. Check it out. Keep that beat roll. Yo, we go here. We go. Here we go again. Trayvon will never get to be an older man. Black children, they childhood stole from them. Robbed of our names and our language. Stole again. Who stole the soul from black folk? Same man that stole the land from cheap black smoke and made the whip crackle on our back slow. Made us go through the back door and raffle black bodies on the slave blocks. Now we slave to the blocks cause on them we spray shots. Leaving our own to lay in a box. Black mother stomach staying or not. We kill each other more than the cops. I wish the hating would stop. We are at war and a battle with us. I know that black lives matter. Do they matter to us? These are the things we gotta discuss. The new plantation, mass incarceration. Instead of educate, they rather convict the kids. As dirty as the water in Flint the system is. Is it a felony? Or a misdemeanor? Maria Sharapova making more than Serena. It took Viola Davis to say this. The roles of the help and the gangsters is really all they gave us. We need Avas, Ta-Nehisi's, and Cory Bookers. The salt of the earth to get us off of sugar and greasy foods. I don't believe the news or radio stereotypes we refuse. Brainwashed in the cycle to spin. We write our own story, Black America again.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. Yo, what up, Oni, the pro-black perspective, my sister Cassandra Raw. And make sure y'all check out Cassandra and the pro-black perspective channels. I'm gonna put it in the link so y'all make sure they bring fire all the time, you know. And I ain't really mean to come on late. Make shouts out to my brother MG2, always dropping the information. You know, I would say, go to his channel, but the right people will go to his channel, you know what I mean? So, and my sister Tanzan, she didn't go live tonight, so hopefully everything's good. But I did want to come on here because I did want to say something that I've been wanting to say for a few days, because I'm not gonna lie, and let me put the link in the chat, because today, and I'm gonna try to make it as constructive as possible and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna lie, I really want to come on here because I'm getting tired of and shouts out to my sister Raw all day. But yeah, I'm getting real tired because I'm not gonna lie, man. Like black people, we are sounding real weak. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that we say, the stuff that we're scared to say, like the contradictions that we have, like we try to find every single reason why not? We find every excuse, you know what I'm saying? And we gonna go through all of them, you know what I'm saying? So if you think that if you disagree, if you think that I'm being extremist, you know what I'm saying? Like we will talk about this whole black on black crime thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, and because like, yo, it's just crazy, you know what I'm saying? And I think that y'all is just like scared to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie, if you come on here, um, I might call you out on your cooning, you know what I'm saying? And I want you to call me out on mine, you know what I'm saying? But it's getting ridiculous the level of fear that black people have, you know what I'm saying? Scared to do, scared to say. Black people like, oh Lord, you better not say that. You might get in trouble. It's days listening now. Man, it's so weak, bro. Like, yo, it's okay, man. It's okay to be who you are, who you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? It's just getting out of control. Like, yo, black people, like, yo, I don't know about this black supremacy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no black supremacy. Y'all believe in black supremacy and just talking about I want to be fair and be equal, man. Y'all got to get rid of that weakness. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows where you would have been if you had the backbone to stand up for yourself. You know what I mean? At some point, and I'll be like, yo, I'm not hard on the coon. And you know why? Because a lot of us have coon tendencies that we may not even want to bring up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna bring them up. You know what I mean? And how we make passes for some people, how we don't give passes for some people. You know what I'm saying? And you won't even talk about the coolness stuff in yourself. You know what I mean? This weakness, this scared to stand on your own, this scared to say, I'm black and I'm proud. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's getting, I'm just maybe having a temper tantrum right now. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Yo, what's going on? Realm in the bush, y'all. Cassandra Cheek. Yo, Cassandra Cheek, what's going on?
Oh my goodness, I'm in. I'm good for this one. I'm ready for this one because I'm sick of these sorry behinds too. Just scared to say, scared to do, scared to move, scared to do anything that's going to free their minds. They are scared to move left, scared to move right. Just you mention white or you gotta whisper. What in the world is going on here? Please help me. I'm ready for this one. Let's go. Let's bring it.
Yeah. All right. So, and before I do that, you familiar? I called it the new Moynihan report. You know what the Moynihan report was?
Yes, I did a show on it. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. And see, a lot of black people see this is a part of the cooning that we got to get rid of because John Brown didn't really exist. You know what I'm saying? The myth of John Brown is not what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? How many people do you think John Brown actually killed, by the way? That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
See, like, yo, John Brown, but he did do something. Well, he got a bunch of black men killed. You know what I'm saying? Yo, this myth of the John Brown and the Moynihan report, if you notice, black people, especially back then, and I
Yeah.
know a lot of people now don't really know what it is. They used the Moynihan report like yo, see, this white man is proving racism and stuff like that, but I want you to see like even stuff like this because this is the so-called liberal here that's supposed to be the allies, because I'm sick of black people talking about allies. Like, who the hell do you think your ally is, bro? Like, you don't have no damn ally. You can't even ally with yourself, and who you think you're gonna come in here and ally with? You know what I'm saying? So this ally here, this modern day well 60s John Brown, the Moynihan report, but I want you to understand how racist this stuff is from these so-called quote unquote liberals, you know what I'm saying? So let me play this.
Study the Negro family, Mr. Daniel P. Moynihan. His report prepared when he was assistant.
All right, if you don't know, this is the report on the Negro family in the 60s in the report. And people like Thomas Sowell and stuff like this use this kind of stuff. And like, first of all, why is this dude talking about the Negro family? Second of all, you know how quick this happened, you know what I'm saying, with from the 50s to the 60s. How can he already have an in-depth report? Because in the 50s, before the Highway Act, which was like 1955, 54, black cities and all of this stuff was still intact. Most of the projects got built in the 50s, some in the 40s, and a lot in the 60s, you know what I'm saying? So by 1965, he could tell us what's going on that happened like, years and years later, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, he knew what they were planning. He knew what they were planning. That's why he could tell you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like they already knew because they was planning these things. Because they, instead of talking on here arguing, cooning, you know what I'm saying, being a part of the minstrel show. And I know black people want me to show ourselves being a part, but I'm not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? But they plan. They have think tanks, like, you know, my sister preaches. You know what I'm saying? And we sit here and react to their think tanks, and then, and by reacting, I mean fall for it and then do the thing that they do for like 10 years and then go to the next thing they think of, you know. But anyway.
First was warmly praised. It has recently been sharply criticized. Mr. Moynihan, a professor of political science, is now at Wesleyan University. He was one of the drafters of the nation's anti-poverty program, and he has just been appointed by Mayor-elect Lindsay to the New York City Poverty Task Force.
And by the way, and I'm sorry to keep stopping this, to keep going, but you know, it is what it is. You know, the bureau that got created after slavery, you know what I'm saying? They put a dude just like him in charge, you know what I'm saying? And their goal was to trick black people into signing sharecropping contracts, these quote unquote liberals and abolitionists and stuff. Well, they wanted to trick people into signing sharecropping contracts. You know, it was about, it's just like now, they may not want to see a person get shot down by police, but ask them if you want to see the system destroyed. Ask them that and see what their answer is. And consider, you can jump in anytime you want to.
Well, you have to understand, they still want to see you dead. They never gonna stop that, because if they were gonna stop it, they would say something, right? Because to be silent is you agreeing. So they don't care about you. They glad you're dying, and then they'll keep telling you that you're not conforming. You keep resisting, but then they resist all the time. I seen a video today where a white dude resisted, but he didn't get shot. So we already know what this is about. But go ahead, tell your thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we'll have the first questions from Mr. Moynihan. Criticizes your report in The Nation, and this is what he writes, quote, "The implicit point is that Negroes tolerate promiscuity, illegitimacy, one-parent families, welfare dependency, and
now,
everything else that
listen to this, all the stereotypes, you know what I'm saying?
Legitimacy, one-parent families, welfare dependency, and everything else that is supposed to follow." Now, that's the criticism he makes of your report. Now, how do you answer those charges?
I can't. I'm not responsible for the fact that he can't read. As E. Franklin Frazier said, and I quoted from him at some length, there is a lot of evidence that the Negro middle-class family, when it gets its opportunity, gets a bearing, is, if anything, more stern, more rigid than most. But the evidence is simply clear. Negro Americans live like any other Americans, and when they're forced into the ghetto and forced into disorganization, they have no more better protection than anyone else.
I'd like to ask you one specific question, which the New York Times quotes you today as saying. You say that 44% of the children in Harlem are illegitimate. Now, how do you know that?
Those are statistics of the New York City Department of Health, sir. 10 health districts in central Harlem, the area which the great American sociologist Kenneth Clark described in his HRU report as having undergone a massive deterioration of the fabric of society and its institutions, and right under our prosperous noses that happened. That hasn't existed for 50 years. That's happened in the last 15 years in this America.
Now, let me tell you something, right? And he's saying this, right? In 1965, there was like not really the gender wars like that. Black people was uniting, and they wasn't just peacefully out there marching, turning the other cheek either. They was out there fighting. They had the family structure together, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, like I said, you know, this is just after all of this stuff is happening. But he's sitting here telling you, and see, black people will be like, see, yeah, he's speaking up for us, you know what I'm saying? He's like trying to, like, yeah, but what he's saying is, black people are all of these things, but it's because of racism. You know what I'm saying? Now, the thing is, you know, most black people are not, and I know a lot of us seem to think this, most black people are just not violent murderers out there killing people. You know what I'm saying? To be like, yo, well, you know, black people, most of us are not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, most of the time they're saying, well, yeah, they are like this, but it's because of X, Y, and Z. And there may also be some genetic markers to that. So we have to help these poor Negroes out. You know what I'm saying? That is, you know what I'm saying, pretty much their angle when they come with this kind of stuff. You want to say something, though?
Well, yeah, you have to understand everything that the white man was saying was what they did to black families, okay? And you have to understand the FBI told what
Hey, you kind of went out there. Yo, what up, Rasheed? What up, guy? Hey, I think she dropped out. Can you hear me?
I'll pass. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, you cut out. You cut out when you were speaking. We couldn't hear you.
Oh, dang. I'm better get on my computer, huh? I was saying everything that the white guy was saying that black people were going through as far as the drug, as far as all everything he was saying. It was happening. That was what they were doing to the black family. And then they want to turn around and they want to point the fingers and make it seem like it's us doing what they're doing to us. They point the fingers and say, "This is what you guys are doing. This is what's happening." And you, but look who's doing it. Why is it happening? Where is it coming from? Everything that they put in place for black people was to harm black people. They knew with this report what was taking place if they took the men out of our homes. They knew it. They have people that come in and say, okay, if you do this to black people, this is the result. If you do this to black people, this is the result. So everything that is happening, they already put stuff in place for it to happen. And then they'll point to you, point the fingers at us and say, look at you, black people. Well, really? Where did it come from? It started with them. So you look at us and you say, why black people act the way they act? Because they taught us how. Remember, we're allowing them to educate us. Remember, they've been educating us since 1963, right? So what do you expect to happen after 70 years? Look at the mess that we allowed them to create. Look at our schools. Look at our children. It's a mess. But the sad thing is, black folk won't do anything about it to change the prison to the school to prison pipeline. They won't. Your children going, but what are you doing to stop it? Nothing. Because I don't want to go back to the 1963 era. I don't want to be segregated. You're already segregated. It's called gentrification. Gentrifying your neighborhoods now. But go ahead. I'm not going. Go ahead.
No, you preaching. Because, like, I mean, tell me, when did we have hospitals, grocery stores, and you know what, armed black men that would protect the neighborhood?
Yes, we had that.
Mm-hmm.
Black Panthers. We had all of that.
Yep.
But why don't we have it now? You got black men scared to get weapons now. You tell them to get a gun, they look at you like you're crazy. What? A gun? A gun? What? Who? And then I go to the range, right? And I see these 6-year-old white boys, little babies, holding weapons, holding guns. And you won't even teach your child. You still walking alone at night in the streets like it's not toxic. Like you have not heard about people walking by themselves and getting gunned down and getting stopped or whatever by the police. And we still won't get our candy bars. Why? What's the problem? So, oh boy, I don't know. I'm gonna try to stay calm tonight, though.
No, turn up. This is what we want. And Matrix said, the thing. Hey, could you mute this echo with it? Yeah, okay. She said, greetings. This thing happened, but what they're not telling you is that it was still legal for the white man to rape a black woman at the time. Those illegitimate children were the white man's bastards. And in most cases, that is absolutely, correct, And another thing, let me say about the single mom thing, and this is not against marriage or for marriage or had nothing to do with it, but single parent does not mean a child doesn't have a mother and father. It just means they're not married. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean the father. And I come from the generation where we probably, out of all the generations, besides excluding like the slavery or past that probably had the most illegitimate homes. You know what I'm saying? But even then, the amount of middle class black neighborhoods that exist, people sleep on. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many black people that is doing the right thing. It's just that most of them aren't, black first. They're just, out there trying to assimilate. You know what I mean? But we allow the worst of our group to classify all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like the sociopaths that get created in the hood. Not saying that there aren't black psychopaths, but sociopaths are created. Psychopaths are born. It's the difference in torturing animals when you're young, or you having to go out in a street and quote unquote put in work, you know what I'm saying, and you grow without feelings, you know what I'm saying. That's the difference in it. And when you get to that point, like, I'm not gonna say that wasn't created, but that exists, and I'm not saying that none of that stuff is not a problem, but to classify ourselves as that, and then on top of that, if somebody say, yo, we need to sit here and build our own stuff and defend our neighborhoods like we're trying to tell you, we would be like, get on here, oh Lord, y'all is wilding out on the internet. They probably watch it. But you know what? When somebody told them that, they put them on the side of a mountain. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy thing. I'm not telling you nothing no different than George Washington told America, but black people scared to say anything about it. But what up, Tracy? And like I said, jump in anytime, consider. We're gonna move on. All right, so the next go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna let you play. Go ahead. I want you to get through your video. Go ahead. Thank you, though.
All right, yeah. So this one is not necessarily the same thing, but it is to the topic, you know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna see a brother in here. But let me play this interview that maybe a mindset that maybe more of us could adapt and it'd be more,
discontent. You want to create a nation of white people, dispossessed white people. Is that right?
So the ethno-state is an ideal that it would be a state for all people of the white race. It would be our homeland. It would be our safe space.
Safe space?
Yes.
Why do you need a safe space?
Why?
And this dude right here sitting here talking about whether I need a safe space when he probably end up in a river. I can't say this about him because I don't know, but
he asked the question why he's so concerned because this white man don't want to spend time with him. This white man don't want to live around him. So he's like, please, master, don't move away. I mean, listen to his voice, listen to the tone. He said, why do you need a safe space? Well, we need our safe space. I agree. You go over there on your side of the river and let us have our side of the river, and let's see who the best, because we know how to build this. We know how to do it. We've done it before. We were having a thing Saturday, and I was talking to a group of people here at the house Saturday, and I said, hey, why are we not building? And some people said, well, we can't. I said, why can't we? I said, we had it before. You forgot we had over 200 cities. And they were looking at me. I'm like, this was before your time, but still, I remember history tells me that we can do this, and we can do it again. We had it before. So why are we afraid to build now? Why are we afraid to separate from them? Because that's what it needs to happen. I guarantee you, if we separated from them, things and life would be so much better for us. I guarantee you it, because before we came together with them, we had cities, we had homes, we had businesses, we had hospitals, we had clinics, we had our own Negro leagues, we had everything that they had. We just didn't have enough money into it yet. But now we're making just as much money as they are. Guess what? Ours would have been better than theirs, probably. I guarantee you it. If we had just kept putting money into it. So their ice is not any colder than ours. Not now. And not then. But we just have to understand this about ourselves, that we as a team can make a difference. But we have to come together, and we have to want it, and we have to work at it. And there are some people that want to do it. And the ones that want to do it, we do it. The ones that don't, you stay over there with Massa. We'll check you later. I'll pass. Are we good? Oh, I think we lost. Okay, let's see what's going on. Can you guys hear me in the chat? I don't know what happened. Brother Bakari, what's up? No notification, huh? What happened to my brother? Well, we're going to keep talking about this Moynihan report here. Okay, forecast. Let's see what happened. So yeah, we have to understand we can't be too afraid to do. We can't be afraid to do for self. We can't be afraid to come back and do what we need to do. And stop being afraid of what white folk gonna think if we do for self. Because they're gonna be offended regardless of what we do. So if we're gonna make them offended, um, we may as well just keep on letting them be offended, right? So who cares what they think? We can do this. We know we can do this, but we have to be aware of their tactics. We have to be aware of their tactics. And this is why we have these meetings like this. And this is why we have to have the think tanks. Because once we do our think tanks, we'll come together and we can counteract what they're doing. We'll see what they're doing. We'll say, okay, you guys, this is what's coming up now. They're, trying to do the role, the general, changing of the roles, and they're trying to switch this and they're trying to do that. Then we can counteract them, and then we can put stuff out there that's gonna reverse all that. But we allow them to do too much in the dark. We got to start exposing what they're doing because they like to do stuff in the dark. They like to hide what they do. Okay. And they like to throw the rock and then hide the hand and then look at everybody else around and say, what happened? What happened? And no, they just threw that rock. Because that's what Biden does now. He throws the rock, then he hide, and he say, oh, Ukraine is, Russia's doing this. That's why it's so much. That's why your gas is going high. No, our gas is $10 a gallon because of him, not because of Russia. But this is what they do. They'll throw the rock and hide their hands and then look at us and say, who threw that rock? What happened? I didn't do nothing. And then we so dumb, we'll sit up there and say, oh, they didn't mean to throw the rock. Oh, we're going to forgive him for throwing the rock. I forgive you. No, we not. We're going to start recognizing. Go ahead, forecast. I was just taking over till you got back. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, they shut my internet down. But yeah, I was listening. You was preaching. Yeah, I'm glad you was on here. Yo, that's a fact. So all right, let me get back to this thing. All right, so I'm gonna play some more of this.
Why do Jews need a safe space? Do you want to say so?
Do I want a white ethno state? A state I can't live in? No.
Why would you be against that?
Sorry?
Why would you be against it?
Well, let me see. There was slavery. That was a kind of form of ethno state.
There was
apartheid, and that didn't work out so well. And
it didn't work out for us. No,
it didn't work out well for anybody. It was a very, very bad idea. And
now this need to explain yourself to some. They know better than you did. Trust me, they know. They're the ones who made it. But we have this need to explain something that I don't think that we completely understand, because if we did, we wouldn't be explaining it to the people doing it. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I seen a bird attack my dog. I ain't sit there and see the bird start chirping at my dog, trying to explain not to come around. The nest. The bird just attacked the dog. You know what I'm saying? One species in the universe that I see trying to explain away themselves, you know what I'm saying, of why it got to be, why I'm acting this way, why you shouldn't do this, why water is wet. We try to tell water, like, listen, when it rains, it causes floods and stuff like this. And, sometimes people drown in water. This is the bad reasons why you shouldn't be wet. You know what? Water don't care. Water is going to be wet, It's crazy.
Africans have benefited from their experience with white supremacy, and we just have to look at the
really.
Are we going again? Can you guys hear me? Are we going again? Can you guys hear me? Okay, well, let me just do this here until our brother comes back. Just like you see the black guy is explaining. Why is he explaining to the white guy who knows already the plans that they have in place for black people? And this black guy is explaining like he's really telling this white guy something. And you see how the white guy looking at him like, we already know. But I'm gonna let you go ahead and explain because you think you're doing something. But see, we have to understand what their plan is. See, that black guy didn't understand the plan. He don't understand the plan. Just like most of us right now, we don't understand what they got coming down the pike for us. I hope you guys have your water and your canned goods already packed and ready because they got some stuff that's gonna take a whole lot of black folk out this winter. When Biden told black folk that we're gonna have a dark summer, y'all better be listening to that crazy. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. But you guys listen when they talk because they tell you everything they gonna do. They don't always have to tell you, look, we're gonna do this to these black folk over here. Listen to what they don't say. Watch some of these movies that they putting out because everything that they do in the movies is gonna tell you what they're getting ready to do to you. We have to watch, be diligent. You gotta watch everything they say and do because they'll tell you and think you don't know and put it right there in front of your face. And some of us will look at it and we'll see it and we say, no, I know I ain't tripping. I know they didn't just call me that. I know they just didn't call me. I know they just didn't say that. And we act like we're so surprised when they show us who they really are. And that is what I don't understand. Go ahead, Forecast.
Yeah, when did I cut out?
When the black guy was explaining to the white guy.
Damn. I didn't even know I was cut out. I don't know what's going on. They trying to carry my internet. I mean, it's all good though. I think that's a good sign for real, for real. What up, guy?
Yo, what up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing?
Hey, guy, how you doing?
Sister speaking facts. You speaking facts, sis. I had to agree with you. You on point.
They put it in your face. There's nothing is a secret that they do. They have to tell you before they do it, but we just have to pay attention. That's all.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, you gotta play. Yeah, you gotta play that video, Richard Spencer. I think his name is Richard Spencer, something like that. Forgot his last name, but yeah, he's definitely a white extremist.
Yeah, and it's interesting they want to cut off my thing today because I'm talking about black people. I'm not even talking about them, but all right.
Somebody need to put a disclaimer for you. Need to put a disclaimer for you.
Yeah, no, they shutting my whole internet system down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that never happened before. All right, let me play this. Did y'all hear this part?
Look, they benefited from being in a different nation than their own, no doubt.
Really?
Did y'all hear that part?
No, we didn't hear that.
Oh, damn.
Probably go back some.
No, we didn't hear that.
Okay.
You have at it. Africans have
look at the average life of an African American in the United States. It's far better than any African living in Africa.
Really? So slavery was good for them.
Look, they benefited from being in a different nation than their own, no doubt.
Really?
No.
Now, listen, he says this, right? And of course, he's who knows what we would have accomplished, you know what I'm saying? But I have heard, and it is unfortunate, I think so many black people, sound like this and think like this because I've heard black people say we would probably be in Africa praying to a tree. We wouldn't have all these technological advancements. You know how many patents and stuff black people just gave away, how much land, how much inventions, how much ideas, you know what I'm saying? That we just gave away, not saying the stuff that was taken. I'm saying that we just gave away, sold to somebody else or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that we sign up for other people's military, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we got to be a part of their military, but won't take the second to fight for our own kind of military. Or the Olympics, you know what I'm saying? Imagine if there was Black Olympics, since black people like to compete, you know what I'm saying? We can compete in the Olympics against each other, you know what I'm saying? Black countries, black people all over the world, you know what I'm saying? And then send the best of the best to compete against the world, and we'll crush them anyway. You know what I'm saying? We can do this thing, but no, black people for America, black people for Britain, black people for Spain, for France, all of these things, everything but our own stuff. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all want, go ahead.
You're right. We don't.
How-
Go ahead. Just
No,
like
no,
just like we fighting for a country that hate us. You're fighting for absolutely nothing. And for us to, like you said, we send our children to fight for a country that when you come back, how many did they hang in their uniforms? Do you remember maybe a year ago, the young man, he was in his uniform and the police officer sprayed him, and he told the police officer, he said, but I served the country. And the police officer said, I do too, and sprayed him in his face with the uniform on. This is what I'm talking. This is the craziness, the insanity. And we keep talking about the mental illness of Black people. We gotta wake up. Stop fighting. Stop sending your children to fight for a war, a country that hate them. You're going to fight for another country's oil, another country's freedom, when you're not free yourself. How much sense does that make? I'm gonna go over here and bake a whole cake for you, and I'm gonna use my cake batter, and I don't have nothing else in my own house to eat. But I'm gonna come make you a cake and leave the cake batter and over there at your house. Does that make sense? We have to stop. And this guy right here is the biggest racist ever. I'll pass. This is crazy. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and Guy, both of y'all just jump in anytime you hear anything you wanted to say, you know.
How can you deny that?
Sorry?
How can you deny such
It's
an obvious
such
fact?
a ridiculous
How is it
notion.
ridiculous?
It's such a
How is it
ridiculous notion
ridiculous?
that people forcibly removed from their homes and taken to this country to work for nothing for a couple of centuries, that benefited them.
I'm
Have you
against
ever
it.
for a second considered that if they were able to stay in the countries where they were born and lived and weren't forcibly removed, that those continents might be in a better state now?
I seriously doubt that.
So
Yeah.
you're really proud of your racism, aren't you? You're really proud to
I'm
be a
proud
bigot.
to be a white man.
You're proud to, that's different from being proud to
If
be a bigot.
Africans had never existed,
Proud to be a bigot. Now, this is an interesting thing because a lot of Black people be like, oh, Lord, I'm not racist. You know what I'm saying? But if you believe that, you know what? It's not even a belief. I know generally speaking, we can look at sports. We can look at a lot of different things in academia. I know a lot of Black people may not want to believe that either. But, it's if you're saying off of their thing, racism is somebody who believes they're superior. And I don't think Black people are racist at all. I wish we were, you know what I'm saying? Like him, I'm not, I don't even think Black people is prejudiced because prejudice is to prejudge. Nobody prejudging. We're going off 600 years of history here. You know what I'm saying? It's not a prejudgment and still get the benefit of the doubt, which is insanity. You know what I'm saying? But, in all of this, is the apologeticness of us, you know what I'm saying? And he's telling you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna let it play.
Proud to, that's different from being proud to
if
be a bigot.
Africans had never existed, world history would be almost exactly the same as it is today.
Yeah, you just keep
because we are the genius that drives it.
Things.
How do you deny that?
Now he's saying this, right? Now I'm telling you, right? If they had not, because look, just going back, just listening to Black people debate about history and stuff, it seemed like we haven't got it together since Greece invaded Egypt and whatever when it was Black. If you say it's Black, if you say it's not, because we still gonna argue about that. So that's about 3,000 years we've been interacting with somebody and we've been off of our square the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And we still can't feel like, our civilization that's racist. You know what I'm saying? I would definitely support. I think Cassandra is way better than, I would definitely hire her before I would hire some nasty white girl, you know what I'm saying? But, oh Lord, that's racist, y'all there? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, so yeah, man, that whole racist thing, man, stop being scared to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay, bro. Like, and I don't even mean like you don't even have to think that you're superior. You know what I'm saying? And I said black first, and Tanzan was 100% correct, and y'all be 100% correct, black only. You know what I'm saying? Because if I have a business, guess who I'm hiring? And it does it mean that I hate somebody else? No, it doesn't. Now, me personally, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that us funding, keeping our money in our community is going to hurt their businesses, and that would be a extra bonus satisfaction. But it's more important that we control our industries, you know what I'm saying, how we dispose of our feces and all of this stuff. And that comes with being strict with your culture, you know what I'm saying, and understanding who you are and being okay with being racist, because I'm not going to let some outsider come in. You know, even in those governments where black people took over, you know, they had to elect white people to be, it was interracial governments, you know what I'm saying? Those was the radical governments, the interracial stuff. It wasn't really in certain black towns when it's all black people, yeah, sure, but in most of the cases it was interracial governments, because I don't know, for some reason we just like all lives matter, you know. Man, my bad. And y'all, like I said, man, y'all jump in. I don't know if I'd be off or on with this going on.
Nah, I was gonna chime in once you finish the video. But go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Sorry?
How can you really deny that?
You're talking nonsense.
How am I talking nonsense? You'll never be an Englishman.
You don't get to tell me.
Yeah,
This dude, what? He said, you'll never be an Englishman. You don't get to tell me I'll never be an English. Yo, you know, they said if you accept the ways of the Englishmen and accept Christianity, there was a chance you could possibly get free. But then they ended that like 20 years later in like the 1600s, and black people still accepted the ways of the Englishmen, you know, or the Frenchman or the Dutchman or the German or whatever.
You're talking nonsense.
How am I talking nonsense? You'll never be an Englishman.
You don't get to tell me
what
I will be.
Because my name's Richard Spencer.
My name's Richard Spencer, and I approve this message.
Yes, and so therefore I actually,
because you've got nothing to say. I was looking for someone.
Yo, I'm the forecast, and I'm telling this dude he'll never be German. Whatever he said, a white dude. All right, so.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Yes. I want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
If that's how that white man felt, let him live. That's how I look at it. He feels the way he feels, and a lot of white people agree with him. You know what I'm saying? Now, he could turn around and say he's superior, and he's this and that and that. But my thing is, you can't be that superior when you need another race to build your nation up. So you can't be that superior. The only thing you can say is, well, we dominated y'all, but you can't say that that you're superior when you didn't even know how to eat. You didn't even know how to wipe your ass. So he can say it, but historically, what he's saying don't exist. But here's the funny thing about it. I see this black guy, and he's debating this white man. Now, it's just weird to me where this black dude is trying so hard to convince him to, I don't know, I guess to see what he sees, or to try to make him feel like he should be fit into this racial harmony. And that should be white. That should be a white man talking to him. Because how many times when we say like we're better than white people, and our history have proven, and how we say we gods and this and that and this and that, it is always some coon that wants to try to debate us. Or you're nothing but a slave, you know, you're not African. These are black people telling us that. There's no white people trying to come on our forum and trying to debate us and try to tell us that we're wrong. It's our own people. And it should be his own people should be setting him straight. But there's always some black person that's want to go out their way to try to harmonize or try to have this racial, I don't know, this racial dialogue with the enemy. It's just that white man ain't listening to him. He thinks what he thinks. So for him to say yes, he's right, and he's telling him, you will never be an Englishman. You will never be me. And they said us, they tell us that all the time. It doesn't matter what you are. They stopped it. I remember I was watching a video, and I think you've seen this forecast, when they stopped a captain, a black captain. He was a black man. He was a captain. 2 officers stopped him. And even when a black man said, "I'm a captain," they didn't care. Fargersville, he was just another N-word to them. Where you going, bro? Call him a bro. They didn't even respect him. And that's the thing. And this is what Abraham Lincoln, this is what I'm going to keep drilling this into black people's head, until black folks could understand this. Because even Abraham Lincoln, he said, it doesn't matter. You can, there will never be no equality. There will never be no equality in this country. This is from, they all call him Honest Abe. He was honest about it. And he said there's always going to be an inferior race. And as long as you stay in this country, you're going to be put in the inferior box. And that's what this white man's telling me. He said, but that's what he should expect. And we don't know. I don't know how that's man, because that black dude could have a white wife. Who knows? The reason why he's trying to have this peaceful dialogue with this dude. But he's not the only black man. Roland Martin was trying to talk to him. I'm like, yo, why are y'all talking to these white extremists like they're going to change their mind? They're not going to change their mind not for you. So it's one thing when they invade our space and they want to debate us and all this other stuff, but I don't believe in going to them and try to persuade them and try to make it seem like, oh, you can't think like that. No, they should think like that. They should think they're better or whatever. But like I said, history doesn't prove it. And let me say this and I'm just gonna let my plane when I'm gonna say this. That's the reason why they brought us to the Americas. Because of our talent, because we could make medicine, and then we can build. They saw all these things that we did in Africa, so they said, no, we need that so they could build our nation, but we are not paying them. And that's what they did. All that stuff, all these adventures that that's nothing new to us. That's something new to them. And we got to keep that in mind. Okay, remember, they thought these are the same people that thought the world was flat. These people are still, even to this day, these people are still barbaric. They still have a Neanderthal mindset. That's the reason why they everything is about destruction and violence, terrorism. You know what I'm saying? And we so busy trying to civilize them. You can't civilize a Neanderthal. And that's what you saw. That's what you saw in the video. He's trying to civilize this Neanderthal. You can't civilize these people. That don't make any sense. It just irritates me sometimes when we can do so much if we just stick together and do what we need to do and stop tearing each other down, stop terrorizing each other. All these gangs, they out there terrorizing other black people. When you have that white Neanderthal shot 11 black people in Buffalo that black people don't even want to talk about no more because it's embarrassing. One white guy shot 11 black people. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. And I land my plane.
Yeah, and it's on considerable, but those black people on the verge of talking about I forgive you. I showed that on the last one, but go ahead, consider.
Yeah, let's stay on that little point with the Peyton, the little man that shot up Buffalo. But you remember a black man stood with him the day before he shot up the place, and he thought he was convincing Peyton not to do what he was planning, because he said, well, I talked to him the day before and I thought when I left that, he was good. But he was good nothing. You can't convince. We cannot change these people. They will never ever change because they think that they are superior. This country has made them feel like they are more superior. But we have to stop being ashamed of being B1, and we have to stop allowing them to make us feel bad because we are Black first and Black only, period. Because I don't feel bad knowing that I'm more superior than they are, period. My thing, we have to get to the point where when they call you racist, Black people can't be racist. We don't control nothing. Only the group of people that's in control that can change a person's life for bad or good is a racist. And who has that control right now? Not Black people. We can be prejudiced, but we can't be racist. So we have to understand that they'll use their own words against us to make us feel less than, to make us feel bad because we don't want to be bothered with them. But then they can treat us any kind of way. Just like you had the little black mermaid. These white folk had a fit about a fish, a mermaid, a little whatever, okay?
Hey,
Because she
not
was black.
not
Go
to cut
ahead.
you off, not to cut you off, but one dude said the little sea monkey.
Ain't that something? But she wasn't no sea monkey when she was white, was she? Okay. But this is showing you that this country has made them feel that they're more superior than Black folk. So anytime we do anything, I don't care what, the little thing that we do, and for our babies to see a Black mermaid, they couldn't take it. What do you think was going to happen 10 years from now, 6 years from now, when you see more and more Black folk with their own businesses? I see it. Does anybody else see what's happening? I see the tides are turning slowly. I see more Black businesses. There's a nail shop in Charlotte, a Black owned nail shop. I can't wait to drive an hour up there to get my nails done. I'll get them done now because I had stopped. I'm not letting them chinks touch my nails, touch nothing. I won't even let them do my feet. That's how I don't like them touching my body. But that Black shop, I'm gonna drive an hour up there to Charlie to get my feet and my no, my toes and my feet done, my nails done. I'm serious. We have to stop allowing them to teach us how to think or tell us what to think about us. They don't get that right. They don't. And I rest the mic.
Yeah, that's a fact. And you know what, consider I'll take it even a step further, because with the racist thing, I agree with you, you know what I'm saying? And even further than that, I don't even think Black people is prejudiced, you know what I'm saying? Not that we should or shouldn't be. I'm just saying I don't think that we are because, first of all, we doing a lot of explaining to be prejudiced. But second, like I said, to be prejudiced is to prejudge. Nobody ain't prejudging anything. And in fact, we don't even learn from the history that we should prejudge from. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I would say that, and and I'm gonna go for but to borrow, some 5% or logic here, you know what I'm saying? Like, most people is like the 85%ers, like this brother here, who's kind of explaining just in the midst of assimilation, you know what I'm saying, getting into the society, trying to make the best way that they can in somebody else's society, just going day to day or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's the 85%er. And eventually we're gonna get to the 10%er and the 5%er, which includes us, you know what I'm saying? So, these first couple joints is kind of easy, but if we're gonna talk about cooning, we gotta and I'm not talking about anybody personally, here or whatever, but even people in our community that do have the knowledge that we even know, we gotta understand all of our, including myself, any kind of cooning stuff that I have in myself, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna act like I haven't been somewhat Negrofied being in the country that we're in. It just is a part of it. We all got some kind of Stockholm syndrome, I call it Black syndrome because we ain't from no damn Sweden or nothing. But this last one I know that we are going to agree on. But some of this stuff y'all might get mad at me about, but it is what it is. But the Queen Elizabeth funeral, I'm pretty sure y'all seen that. Now look at this, you know what I'm saying? The African president is hopping off the plane. Oh, how you doing, boss? Yes, sir. Strong. Look him in the eye. Don't let that white man know you less than. I'm a man. You might as well have had a "I'm a man" T-shirt on instead of a suit. But and by the way, because suits. I never understood this. You know what I'm saying? Suits like, yo, you got to dress like, yo. That's somebody else's even logic. You know what I'm saying? Like that's somebody else telling you what being dressed up is, I'm not saying nothing is wrong with a suit if you like suits or nothing like that, but for somebody else to tell you what the standard of professional is, was that your professionals? Now if we had suits on in 1222, you know what I'm saying, 800 years, if I wrote a manuscript about somebody in Africa in 1222 and they had a suit on, that's one thing, you know what I'm saying. But if this became the standard of, you know what I'm saying, of professionalism because somebody else, because to me, I mean, I think other things could be more professional that I like more. Look at this strong handshake. The second white man. Yeah, what up, bro? Yeah, whatever, dude. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm doing too much with that. You know what I'm saying? But look at this. You know what I'm saying? These are the African leaders. Like, yo, MG2 made a good point. If all the African leaders went to this funeral, who the hell is guarding Africa? You know what I'm saying? What the hell? Which leaders is in Africa?
The leaders of Ethiopia and Ghana paid tribute to the late British monarch
These are
Queen
just two that
Elizabeth
I'm
II
showing
on
them.
Sunday as they signed her book of condolences in London. Ethiopian President Sahle-Work Zewde said Elizabeth had been a towering woman leader who would be remembered for her public service.
I have the privilege of being here today to honor Her Majesty the Queen with the rest of the world.
Her Majesty the Queen. Wow.
Did she say the privilege of being there? What
Oh, boy.
privilege is that? Oh my God, please help me.
Oh boy. The privilege of being there after all the humanitarian things she's done, like, destroyed millions of my people, killed us.
Exactly. What about the black lady that she had this blue shirt on and had the Queen's face on it? It was a black lady. What are we doing? Why can't we just be honest? This lady was evil as you know what. What privilege is it to be around a colonizer? What privilege is it to be around a slave master that beat the hell out you, raped you, burned you, hung you, cut your body parts off? What privilege is that? And how is that a privilege? That's how we are mentally, right there. What privilege is that? This woman treated Africans like dogs. And we know what she did to the country. So you're okay with that? Is that what we're saying now?
Right.
When do we wake up and when do we make them apologize to us? When do we make them pay us reparations and do what they're supposed to do for us? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just about to say, isn't in this picture, isn't that the jewel of Africa or whatever they call it, and on her neck while she's saying all these things about her?
Might be some gold up in that room that she just stole.
Oh Lord. Straight from Ethiopia, this chair from Ethiopia. Yeah, well, it's a privilege. It's because it's in this castle here. And it's crazy because like in 1222, I said that before, that like their kingdoms was like in the forest somewhere. Like their queen was just like some dirty white girl in the forest. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, and like half of the people had like blisters and stuff like that on their skin. It's like, it's crazy.
Her Majesty was very well known in Ethiopia. We keep fond memories of her visits to our country, where she not only visited.
And not to keep cutting it off, yo, I saw a video with a Jamaican brother. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, when we was in school, they told us, the top 5 best students, you know what I'm saying, to get to meet the Queen when she comes to Jamaica and stuff like this. And this brother was like, I got into a fight or did something and I got in trouble and I wasn't gonna get to meet the Queen, and I cried so much, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I got older to realize what they was doing to me. And people like her probably did it.
The capital city, but our historical and natural heritage as well. She will be remembered for her lifelong public service and for being a towering woman leader.
Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo spoke of the Queen's 70-year reign as transformative.
And we appreciated very much her leadership of the Commonwealth, which saw a dramatic transformation from a nation of 8 countries when she went onto the throne to 56 at the time.
Now, so when she went to the throne, they had 8 countries under their colonization, and now they have 56. I appreciate it though. Apparently,
to the throne, so 56 at the time of her death. It has become a very important institution in global affairs, comprising 1/3 of the world's population, and a definite force for good in the global arena.
Dignitaries from across the world have traveled to the UK capital ahead of the Queen's state funeral on Monday. The ceremony caps 10 days of national mourning for Britain's longest reigning.
now, right? If y'all, it was a movie. Oh yeah, Inglorious Bastards, right? When they had the thing with Hitler and stuff like this in the museum and stuff, the girl, she set her own theater on fire to kill all of the generals, including Hitler inside. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're gonna go to that funeral, I'm just throwing it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'll just be like yelling out Jenga and then whatever, But yeah, y'all got anything to say? Because we're gonna move on.
Yeah, Lord, this very disturbing. Seeing black people praising this colonizer. And this is the same old bitch that did not even apologize for slavery, for their 100 for over their 100 years of enslaving African people. She benefited off of slavery. She also took part of colonizing 20 other countries, mostly Africa. This woman married a racist a husband who hated people, make racist statements. Told one African brother that his clothes looked like he was ready for bed or something like that. But she was still married to him. Here's a woman that um, that benefited um, off of slavery. This woman benefited of the oppression of the exploited African people. You know what I'm saying? And our people have lost, African queens or whatever. Have Europeans ever showed up and talked nice about like Winnie Mandela when she passed away? Did she came over and gave her condolences? Elizabeth, did she ever did that? Did any of those British came and gave their condolences? When our queens die, when we consider queens, they don't come and give their condolences. But why are we doing that for them? Why are people doing that? You got Negroes in this country taking up for that race, that old bag. You have black folks literally saying that she helped free black people over here in the United States. They said, well, she made it possible for any black person can reach Canada. They'll be free. Free from what? Do you know that when white people say that, hey, I will free you, that's another form of a trick, because now you decide to go to Canada or get to Great Britain or whatever the case is, you'll be under their jurisdiction. You'll be under their law. They could do whatever they want to you. And this has always been just like the South versus the North. Black people running to the North. And there's more, matter of fact, there's more racism in the North than in the South, believe it or not. And they just do it with a smile. But black people went from one jurisdiction to under one rulership to under somebody else's rulership. And they saying and they call that freedom. Think about that. They call being under somebody else's roof freedom. That's not freedom. So it's a shame that we do not celebrate we don't cry of any oppressor. We don't cry or mourn or any colonizer. We don't do that. That's against African code. So to me, those are, and those black people that you've seen going over there, mourning and giving their respects, those not our people. Those not our people. You know what I'm saying? Those are sellouts, and they have to me they have been paid to destroy their own people, man. They don't care about their own people. Because if they did, they would not have gone over there. That's white people's problem. That's not our problem. They do not, when our people, when our greats pass away or get killed away, they don't show any they don't mourn when things happen to us. So we gotta, it's just watching that just really pissed me off. But I've heard a lot of Negro pens in this country crying and mourning and taking up for that demon. And it's just, and then when you ask these Negroes, what's so special about this woman? They can never give you a logical answer. Was she freed the black people here was being oppressed in America, and the only they got to do is get to Canada, and because she controlled Canada, and they will be free. That's not being free. That means she and those black people that when they ended slavery, they didn't give black people anything. They didn't give black people no reparation. They didn't give black people no land. They didn't give black people nothing. They didn't give black people no reparations. So even though like I said, she didn't apologize. I'm gonna lay my plane. She didn't apologize for her country owning slaves. She didn't apologize that she didn't divorce her racist ass husband. She didn't do it. She enjoyed and benefited of the wealth and that crown. She enjoyed everything that was stolen. She basically took part of robbing Africa. That crown, all them jewels on that crown came from Africa, and she never gave back. She never gave back. And I rest my mic.
All right, Cassandra.
She never fixed anything that her ancestors did wrong. But she said that it wasn't her, it was her ancestors. It didn't matter. If you felt guilty about what your ancestors done, you should have fixed it. But she didn't. So this is very questionable when people, they try to, smooth over stuff, just like Biden. He smoothed over stuff, but he never fixed anything. And then, we still voted for him. So we have to understand what we're dealing with. And until we as Black people start educating ourselves, you're going to continue seeing this. Africa, the colonizers left, but then they hid behind the presidents. And now they tell the presidents what to do. So they still controlling Africa. And until they change that educational system, nothing is going to change with Black people. Nothing. You have some things that African people think about themselves. It's horrible. I had an African friend I used to work with, a guy I used to work with. And some of the stuff that would come out of his mouth about himself and African people, it would just be shocking. I'm like, why do you think like that? Who talks about themselves like that? It was horrible stuff. And I'm like, why? But you have to understand, this is what happens when you allow your enemies to educate your children yourself. For 70 years, they've been educating us. But we still won't correct it. So here now you have Black folk coming talking about it's a pleasure to be, coming to your, what? That's so dysfunctional. All of this is dysfunctional. And we don't even understand it. We need to come from among and be separate, totally And the ones that don't want to separate, I mean, just leave their behinds behind, because those people are dangerous. Those African, was the Ethiopia queen, was that a president? She's dangerous to black people. She would sell her people out, and she has. And half of those black folk that came, the prince, the kings and stuff, the presidents, they're dangerous to black people. These are the same ones that are starving their own people and making what? Thousands of dollars a year, being paid very well by white supremacy to keep your own country down, to keep your own people starving. You gotta feel real bad riding through them streets and seeing these people starve to death. But you sitting up there eating steak every day. You know you're gonna pay for that. You know you got to get it.
I want to add, and one of the biggest tricks that they did was, number one, they gave us their religion and they gave us their history, which destroyed us. Well, even when you go to Ghana and you look at the slave castles, the first thing you're gonna see is the church that the Portuguese built. You know what I'm saying? So that was the first thing they did, was brainwash you, took away your names, gave you their religion so you could worship them. Because they have to get to the minds. They had to get to the minds before they control the body. And that's what you're seeing in 2022. Nothing has changed. And once we started to break out of that, you have black people. Now I can't even blame white people no more. You got your own people trying to discourage you, trying to say the most degrading thing so they can get you away from Africa. That's where my roots is from. I'm not gonna go anywhere else. That's where my roots is at. Yes, Africa has their problems, but they can get rid of it overnight if they overthrow all the fucking junk. That is Islam shit. They need to get rid of that. That's not their religion. Christianity, that's not their religion. That's not our religion. And that's to the point. And then it got to because let me tell you something. Whether black people want to believe it or not, it does affect us to the point that we can't even rely on each other to make our own roads, to build our own skyscraper. We got to go to China, to these yellow bastards. We got to go to Europe to so they can build our roads and all, when we can just go next door and hire our own. But because we got so caught up into this whitewash. And look at these athletes. The majority of these athletes these men marry the same people that they complain about. Oh, the Karen, the Karen. But this is what you marry. You marry the Karen. So your money goes right back to them. The black man lifespan is very short. Let's talk about it. The lifespan of black men, because of all the shit that we have to endure. And then guess who benefit? The white woman. The white woman. We don't, you know what I'm saying? So we have to, and that's what they did to us, and they doing it even on media. If they can't feminize the black man, they will throw the white woman in our face, or throw the yellow woman, any woman except the black woman, to weaken us. This is designed. And they doing it in Africa. It's the same thing. Look at South Africa. South Africa is like United States. Those black people should have kicked them bastards right back where they came from. but they let them stay. Why would you let them stay? When them British came into South Africa, them British went into the black homes and took the family out and said, no, this is ours. These is white people doing this because of bad government. And that's when Winnie Mandela was telling Nelson Mandela before he got brainwashed. She was like, when he got brainwashed, she was like, yo, they kicked us out of our homes. And you working with them? So we have to so some of these people, they may look like us and they might say they're leaders, but they're not our leaders. They're the white, they work for white folks, they work for the oppressor. This is the reason why they killed Idi Amin. Idi Amin, once he woke up, oh, we got to get rid of him because now he's for his people now. Or he's fighting for his people. So yeah, man, I'll yield the mic.
Yeah. And let me say this, because I know y'all probably won't. So I want y'all to be on as long as y'all can. You know, I know y'all might, whatever time y'all gotta go. So, just let y'all know. So I do want to show y'all as much stuff that I can show. And this person right here, Smitty Hamill, which I know, and you can come on. The link is in the chat, right there. Because this is the perfect time for you to come on, because the 85% stuff, what I'm saying, like we talked about that, but we also got to address even because like, I think like we give certain passes to certain people, what I'm saying? And even in our own community, I don't think that we would call out even our own stuff, what I'm saying? Like the things that we would do ourselves, what I'm saying? And if we're going to talk about this topic, what I'm saying? Like I could name a whole bunch of things, what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure like some of y'all might even disagree with me on these next things, what I'm saying? So let me go to the next one. So yeah, the link is in the chat for the dude, because now this thing about black on black crime, what I'm saying? Now listen, I've been waiting for somebody to just bring up this whole thing with black on black crime in Chicago and all of this stuff. And my brother Oni, what I'm saying? Because I was talking about last time about in Chicago, when they was doing those reports, especially like 4th of July in 2019, they were like 70 shootings and stuff unsolved. I'm like, first of all, how could you even know that there's black on black crime if that is a problem? If it's unsolved, what I'm saying? And a question that I would have for anybody who's saying this is, can you define what is it? Like, what does it go by? Does it go by like arrested, convicted, or just suspect or whatever? You know what I'm saying?
They're just talking out their mouth. They can't prove that because I guarantee you half of it is blackface. Half of it is blackface. So when they make black on black, what about Russian and Ukraine? Ain't that white on white crime? You mean to tell me Asian and Asians don't kill each other? You mean to tell me Germans and Germans don't kill each other? Give me a break with this black on black crime stuff.
And I've been waiting for somebody to even come on and even say that, but nobody ever did, you know what I'm saying? Because this is a lot more stuff that you could say about, like, because it's interesting, like, to me, like, I like destroying the talking points because, like, when they adjust for population and when they don't, it's interesting, the arguments, because they all use the same generic argument when they talk about it, you know what I'm saying? But the issue is a lot of black people, like this person in the chat, you know what I'm saying? And this is the perfect time for you to come on here and talk about what you're talking about, but I doubt that you will. Matter of fact, let me check.
I guarantee you he's not even black. Let me tell you something, Mr. Smitty. My thing is, we have relatives over there, okay? When they took you from there, okay, we have to understand you left a grandma, you left a great somebody over there. So we are still one. You cannot divide us, and I will not let you divide us. We're all one. When they see when a black person see the Caribbean person, if we stand together, a Caribbean, African American, and an African, they're not going to say, oh, that's Caribbean. They're going to say, what, black? So I will not allow somebody to come on here and say, oh, we're different. No, we're the same. So if Smitty want to come on, you got to show your face because we want to know that you're black. You can't come on here being a white person trying to have black folk conversation. Don't hide behind your sign. Show your face because I guarantee you that person's not black.
Yeah, well, they probably are though. That's the thing. I think I even know who it might be. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing that I'm trying to show. That's what I'm trying to show y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we sick. You know what I'm saying? That's why when I be like, I'm not hard on them, 'cause I understand that we are sick, and I understand who the enemy is, and I'm down with destroying the manufacturing plant, the system that creates all of these problems. Let's just, well, you know, that's too radical. So let me chill out. You know, because of course,
No, that's not radical. Go ahead.
Oh Lord, somebody gonna be like, oh Lord, somebody gonna tell on us, Cassandra. So you know they gotta go get massa. But you know they'll bring up, well, what about black on black crime? Well, number one, you know what I'm saying, even if you make that dumb argument, you know what I'm saying, like, are you comparing the people in the streets that you call thugs to the police? You know what I'm saying? I agree, the police are thugs, worse thugs than they are, and a bigger gang than they are. And you know what else? I'd rather my tax dollars go to those people in the streets, because I know that there's other issues, like, but for the most part, it's about money. Because if you understand the people living in the hood, you know what I'm saying, most people in the hood is not violent criminals. Most people just go to work. If you ever been to the hood, if you go to the hood, most people is regular. I'm not saying that people don't turn into sociopaths, or even that psychopaths aren't born as black people, you know what I'm saying? And that's not a hood thing or not hood thing, you know what I'm saying? But most black people, number one, are not in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Number two, most black people in the hood is not out there committing crimes, you know what I'm saying? And number three, like, you're talking about children, you know what I'm saying, where their moms, you know what I'm saying, if they were in the house regular, you know what I'm saying, especially from my generation with the crack era, because we missed that whole part, you know what I'm saying, because that was a war strategy. Like, the crack epidemic was a whole war strategy used on us, where they made $1 billion selling us drugs. Then they made trillions of dollars locking us up for the said drugs. If you look it up, the for prison profit came out in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? Well, the first company, private company, was in the 80s, you know what I'm saying, where they could make money by locking people up. They send prisoners to different states, and it does a whole bunch of different things. Bakari mentioned some of it on his last show, but another thing it does politically, you know what I'm saying, the state population, like if I send a bunch of prisoners to Ohio, increases the population. So therefore the electoral vote thing, you know what I'm saying, the more population, the more people, but those people cannot vote. So it's really the 3/5 thing in kind of modern whatever. But yo, it's a whole thing to this, but I can go on and on with this black on black crime stuff. I should just skip the video. Y'all want to say something? Because this is another thing I want to skip to next.
But yeah, just one thing. Let's talk about the real criminals. Let's talk about your government. Let's talk about Nixon and Reagan and how your government put drugs. This is a known fact in your neighborhoods. Let's talk about Mississippi water. You got a governor. Mississippi is 85% black. You have a governor that's white. Why is that governor white? Why are we allowing white supremacy to be on top of us? You have a black senator that's over Mississippi, who's been in that seat for 30 years. You think he would say something about that water that's now looking like dookie water or toilet water? He should be arrested. That government should be arrested. That Senate, the Congress. Let's talk about the real thugs in America. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about your Congress, the whole Black caucus, who's doing nothing about Black men and Black children and Black women coming up missing or being shot by these thugs in blue. Let's talk about the real thugs. How Biden wrote the three strikes law, okay, the crime bill, and put half of the Black families, Black men in jail. Then Clinton turned around and did the other half. Let's talk about it. We don't want to talk about that. We want to point fingers. They want to point fingers at the Black people. But how did the Black people get in this predicament? We didn't get here by ourselves. That's my argument. Let's talk about how we got here. We didn't get here by ourselves. But go ahead with your next film.
Yeah. All right. So listen, you know, and y'all may disagree with this point, though, you know, I think that is a problem when we say we are our worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? I think that is misdirect. You have to know who you're at. And I'm not saying coons get a pass. And that's the thing people like to say, or you just saying you'll give them. No, like there are such things as punishments, violations, and death penalties. I'm not against people fighting it out if they got disagreements, as long as they shake hands afterwards. Like, yo, this is the real world that we live in. You know what I'm saying? But what we're talking about, it's not even a white person in particular. Even though I don't have a white person that's my friend, I don't care about a single one of them. It is the system that is upheld, and we get our emotions and our feelings involved in all of this stuff. That's why we give some people a pass and some people we don't. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's dangerous to say we are our own worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? And even so, you know, I'm playing, and they might take this video down for this one, but I hope not. I don't even care though. But I think people should watch the scene in these movies. You know what I'm saying? But this scene goes against what I'm saying, so I'm playing it anyway, just because, you know, to make it harder. I'm gonna skip some of it just so.
I would have killed him. You don't want me for the Peckerwood. Peckerwood would have killed me. Be like you killed me. You be putting that rope around my neck yourself. What you think you is, a hound dog? Peckerwood say go fetch, you fetch. You see me hang, you gonna know. You gonna know you kill a black brother. Cicero! Mayhaps I could have got away on beat for you catching me. You remember that. You remember that all day. You killed me. You remember that. You killed me. Because like you just proved what the Peckerwood say. We're just beasts. Willing to do anything. Kill each other. No mind. No feeling. Shut up, nigger. At least why I ain't gonna die like you gonna die. Like a slave. I ain't giving no lifetime of misery and sweat to this Peckerwood. I'd rather die than be a slave. You Peckerwood, that's right. You Peckerwood was oppressed in your own land. We was free. And you brought us here. In chains.
And by the way, they all might well be hanging them too, right? Right, y'all? Oh no. Just, you know.
Well, now we here. And you just better know. This is just as much our land as it is yours. And after you hang me, kiss my ass.
All right.
I love that part. That's the best part.
Yeah, they cut it out too. Right. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, listen, I'm not saying that people like that isn't a problem, isn't a threat. I'm saying they are damn robots. You know what I'm saying? Let's go after the manufacturer. You know what I'm saying? Now, if the robots is gardening, nobody's saying, well, you know, let's tip the. But we are saying we are going after the drone. I think that we keep getting caught up in this. Is Mandingo, and another one is Drum. Yo, you know, as far as slave movies, it's nothing that could ever portray the things that they really have done to us. And that's why I'm saying is like, yo, I went through history year by year, and I tried to put myself in that experience and the things that they have done to us. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that it is that I understand. Is a movie called what did I just say? A movie
Mandingo.
a movie called Mandingo. Yeah, it's I'm not saying that, you know, that people like that aren't a threat. I'm just saying, like, yo, I've lived, like, yo, I tried to relive it. You know what I'm saying? The things that they have done is like everything you can imagine, and then things that you have not. And then, you know, I understand, like, yo, a lot of the rebellions, you know, like the brother Gabriel Prosser, you know what I'm saying? He had a bunch of people, and the person went to go tell the person, you know what I'm saying? But I understand, like, you know, it's like you was doing, but the person is actually lynching you in the system that allows it to go down. And you know what I'm saying, even if there's one sellout, if there's no system there to protect you, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, none of that matters. And I think that we get caught up, you know what I'm saying, and constant going back and forth, you know what I'm saying. I think a lot of that stuff is prepared because, like, yo, that's a strategy of war. Like, get your enemy to take out its own, using its own weapons, even though they put the drugs and the guns and the stuff, and then you step back and say, look at what these people are doing. You know, as Khalid Muhammad.
Exactly. They want to point the fingers and act like it's us. We got here by ourselves. Well, no, you put the drugs in our neighborhood. Then you took the jobs from our men. Then you separated and gave the woman the EBT card and then told them, well, if you want this, I mean, it was domino effect. So our men couldn't get a job. So they sold drugs. Then you put them in jail for selling something that you put on the street. But you have to understand, we have to start recognizing the games, though. And we have to start dealing with these coons. Just like when white folk, when they sell each other out, what happens? What happened in Kyle Rittenhouse? Those two white men that got out of line, what happened? He shot them, didn't he? And didn't even go to jail because they were off code. You have to understand, we don't deal with our coons. That's why Candace can continue doing what she do. That's why Roland can continue doing what he do, and others that we think got, they look like us, so we think they're our friends. I yield the mic. Go ahead.
That's true. We need to, this is what Malcolm X been saying too, that we don't really deal with the guard dogs of white people. This is nothing new. They've been doing that since they came to Africa, and they used our people to guard them. And the Native Indians, they know different. I hate when black people try to assimilate themselves to Native Indians. When they were they were catchers with their dogs. Because they knew the land. So they were the so if a slave African ran away from a plantation, they would use the Native Indian, the dog, to use dogs to track us. So I hate it when they talk about, black people talk, oh, but the poor Native, no, they don't care about us. They don't care about us. That's a myth. When people need to get out of that. But watching that clip just shows that, just imagine we stuck together. Just imagine if he didn't catch him. Where he's letting you know that once we stay together, they can't mess with us. It ain't no law that they can't, even with their laws, they can't touch us. We're not unified. We can't even do the most simplest thing. And it's just like I said, those people that's you got black people, they talking about their mayors and all that. They got put there by white people. They're there to do the job for white folks. They're not there to do us to cater to our needs. They know that black people have problems, and people need to stop saying black on black crime. They need to start saying it's a poverty issue. That's what it is. This is something they gave us. They gave us poverty. They gave us poverty. So yeah, if you take away our factories, you take away, or you increase the rent, or we own a business, if you increase the rent where we have a hard time paying the taxes on and stuff, yes, we on the streets. So yeah, so this it's a poverty issue. You think black people, if everybody was making money and we had our own schools and we had a lot of businesses, black people, the crime rate would go way down. It would barely be any crime. So it's a poverty issue. White people is the only race of people where where they always fighting. They have it all and they fighting. White people have a choice to be poor. And I always say this when I remember saying this a while back. White people have a choice. We don't have that choice. If white people don't want to work, guess what? They don't want to work. If white people want to be homeless, they have that choice. Remember, they had a 500-year head start. Everything been handed to them. So I'm sick of tired when you have black people. Well, you know, white people, they got poor white people, and they live. Most of them living in trailer homes. Well, that's the choice that they made. Why do I want to feel sorry for a race of people where this country was built for them? Laws was made to protect them, and I'm going to cater or feel sorry for some poor white trash because they felt that because they have that choice, they have that right where they don't have to work. They choose to live in trailer homes. We don't have that choice. We was put there. And it doesn't matter how much education we got. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? You got black people that have master's degrees and still living in the hood. This is facts. So we have to see the bigger picture of this. So you always know, you know, this is the reason why they're the biggest drug. That's the reason why they on meth, they on crack, cocaine. These are the biggest drug users. Because they know that white people, they know they're gonna be treated. White people gonna feel sorry for them. Their own people gonna feel sorry and put them in, and they're not gonna go to jail for it. Guess what? They're gonna get treatment. While we get locked up because we paying for that. Think about that. We paying for that. Slavery is paying for them to be for their treatments. Slavery didn't end it. They didn't. That's the myth. Is we abolished slavery. No, they did not. It's been reformed. We only 13%, and we the highest in as far as incarceration. That should tell you something. There should be more white people in prisons than black folks. Because they're the ones who's doing all the killing. They kill each other. They do drugs. They buy and sell drugs. The Ku Klux Klan still exists, which is a known fact of them being a terrorist organization. So this white on white crime, that exists. That exists. But when it comes down to us, it's just a poverty issue. It's a poverty issue. It's not no black and black. We just don't get up in one day and say, you know what? Let me kill a black person today. We don't do that. Not a lot of the times. It's always if we kill it's a murder. Is either because of trauma. There's mental health issues, or there's an economic issue. Man, you owe me money. Where's my money? We saw that in Boys in the didn't we see that in Minister of Society? Didn't we see that in that movie in the beginning of the movie with Samuel L. Jackson say, "Hey man, don't you owe me money?" That's an economic problem. The guy said, "No, I ain't giving you nothing." So the guy shot him. That's an economic problem. Now, if both of them was making money, man, you can keep that. I'm making too much money. So we have to see the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? So I yield the mic.
I want to handle one thing that he said, that 13%. That bothers me because I don't believe that we're just 13%. They're telling you that you're 13%. You mean we've not had any babies within 500 years? We've never reproduced? They won't tell you that it's more of us than them. You think the virus didn't take half of them out, and then the opiates didn't take the rest of them? I mean, you have to understand, they're not reproducing. So when they say, "Oh, you guys are just 12%," that's a lie. If they're not going to tell you how many we are, what percentage it is. They would never tell us. But we downplay ourselves because we're listening to them. We always regurgitate their talking points. Always. We have an issue with thinking for ourselves. Let's start thinking for ourselves. Let's stop regurgitating what they're telling us to think about us. We got to get to the point where we are free to think the way we want to about us, the truth about us, who we really are, what we really are, and what we're not. And we have to correct them when they say certain things about us. We have to correct each other when we say certain things about us. Because you got Black folks saying some horrible things about themselves. But this is what happens when you're born in a country that has shown you since day one how they hate you. And they continuously showing you this, but you marrying them, you mixing and mingling them with them, having babies for them now. You're reproducing for them because they can't reproduce for themselves. So guess what? They're using the Black women and the Black men so they can wipe them babies out. And we're creating another generation for us to fight against. Because them half-breeds, they don't like Black people. I've seen it. If those babies have white moms, they're little racist babies. They're little racist in little white mixed bodies and don't like Black people. I'll yield the mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, because and like that was on point because you know that kind of goes into the next thing, and I agree with everything y'all said. But one thing I like, well, except for one thing that I think that we do have the self accountability thing. If anything, you know what I'm saying? Black people only have smoke for ourselves in every community. I'm like, and this is like me not being biased because I'm not in any particular group or claim any particular thing. Like, yo, we have the self bias. Like, even the 5%ers will have the self bias and be talking about the what about black on black crime, but then say, oh no, I'm here for all people. You know what I'm saying? I think that we only have smoke for ourselves when it comes to the coon. Like, yo, I could name 1 million people. I could put in Tariq Nasheed. I could see 1 million videos. You ain't gonna see nothing about the white boy scamming millions of dollars off of the Buffalo survivor victims while they ready to apologize. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I would say I'm not even mad at the Tariq thing. I'm just saying, why isn't it equal? You know what I'm saying? Because I think that we only got smoke for ourselves. And me personally, like, one thing I would say, like, at this point right now where I'm at, why I'm not worried about a coon infiltrating like a meeting or something is because, like, the people who's supposed to be down is not even there. Like, the people who talk, because that's the thing that we do a lot, and my brother, I got to shout out to MD too, because he's been around a long time. That's the thing that we do, is that we talk, we say we're going to do stuff. Like, yo, even if you try and you fail, at least you try. Just do something. Like, all we do is talk, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even get the plans to the people who's supposed to be down. So how is a coon going to infiltrate it? You know what I'm saying? The person, like, what are they going to infiltrate? Like, the people who's supposed to be doing what we're supposed to be doing. This is not even the 85%. This is the 5%ers. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people who know what's up, like, we don't, like, we give everybody but ourselves the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? But y'all could go ahead and say something. I'm gonna share the screen, while we go into the next topic. All right. Because you mentioned the half black thing too, with the biracial children, because we let everybody into our damn groups. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't think that's cool, then you know what I'm saying it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's interesting.
Yeah, but Focus, I wanted to say this because you had said that we focus. We don't bother the coons. The coons bother us. I don't go around looking for coons, looking for sellouts. But it's like I've been doing programs or whatever, and you got coons will come and try to throw me off my guard. They throw me off my rail. And they want to debate. They want to tell me what I'm really in. Oh, you're not African. You're just and they just trying to put me down. And they talk just like the racist white man and woman. We black people that are solid, African people that are solid, we don't go out our way messing with coons. Coons mess with us. And this is what I want you to understand. I don't go around looking for coons. And I could just be sitting on YouTube, just doing, just teaching, just do my regular teaching, and then next thing you know it, boom, here's the troll coming in there trying to disrupt things. So it's always like that. Look at Umar Johnson. You had a lot of coons wanted to challenge him. Oh, you don't like interracial dating? Yeah, but Umar Johnson's like, yeah, but that's how I roll. If you want to go out there and mix race, that's your business. But don't be trying to persuade me. I have to be comfortable. Oh, you don't like homosexuals? But that's your thing. That's not having to do with me. So we don't go out there and mess with yours. But we will say this: if you do anything to try to hinder us, we got to do what we got to do. We got to do what we got to do. So I don't go into white forums. I don't go to bother white people. But you got white people, they bother black people. And we have to handle it the same way. There's no favoritism. There's no, oh, because the coons are black, we got to treat them better. No, they get the same type of treatment. And this has always been this infiltration with the coon and with the oppressor. We don't bother these people, but they bother us. And that's the problem.
Yo, I feel what you're saying, but listen, yo, this person in the chat, it could be black or white, and this person is probably black, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, but you see, they haven't said nothing. Like, yo, there's a proper way to handle certain things, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like, yo, I think that, like, and I'm like, and I'm not talking about necessarily anybody in particular, but like, yo, us as a group, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, the thing that I have noticed, and like, yo, we deny it, but yo, it's just like, yo, it's just what's repeatedly has happened. Like, yo, we kind of stop at the smoke for each other. Now, what I'm saying is, when we say we our own worst enemy, I'm starting to like wonder if we understand what the enemy is. It's not even a particular white person or Asian person or nothing. The enemy is us not having a system of control what we have for ourselves. And the more time that you spend with focusing on other things, is you can't focus on two things at one time. You can switch in an instant, you know what I'm saying? But if you're focusing on something else, you can't be focusing on other things. And why I let other people come in here or whatever, other people get distracted, but I see it as a tool and a learning opportunity, because that person came up at the right time to talk about black on black crime. Where are they at? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, all of this stuff, yo, you give it life or you give it death, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, and it's like you can only put your energy in one thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that that's not something that you should focus on. I'm saying, yo, there's the prize, and anybody in the focus on this prize. Is not that we got to stop and go for the guard dogs first and none of that. If anybody in the way of this prize getting dealt with, because you know what, most of the damage is going to do with us supporting each other's black businesses. How is the coon going to stop that? What are they going to like go put $20 in there? Like, no, if more people support what Consider doing, like, yo, how is the coon stop it? It's the people who is not whatever, you know what I'm saying, that is not doing whatever, you know. Is, yo, they can't stop certain things. Most of it is economic damage, how we spend our money and stuff like this. Like, but if you don't give people an outlet either, and on the other hand, I understand like the psychological damage. People is like straight spooked out, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I don't mean to go on that long rant, but my bad.
Nah, but no, you're right. I don't have that patience like that. I'll just block them. I don't really have that patience like that. That's how I handle things like that. But I'm just saying that if we had started a movement or whatever, we've seen what the government are capable of doing, where they're sending our own, because white people are afraid of us like that. I'm gonna be honest, they really are afraid of us. So what they do, they get somebody that looks like us that don't like us. That, you got black people don't like black people. Let's be realistic. You got black people have hatred for their own people. This is facts. So we can't pretend that all black people love each other. That's a damn lie. I'm not going to be sitting there and tell you a lie. Tell you no, it's true. You got black people that you got some people that hate black people.
But that's the thing, I don't even think black people like other black people, and this is speaking generally. I don't even think we you know who we clutching our purse. We believe what they say. We clutch our purse and get tight when black people get like, yo. I always used to say, imagine walking down the street, you know what I'm saying, and then there's two brothers in white tees. God forbid if they have dreads. what would you do? You just instantly kind of get tight. But really, if you see two preppy white boys in collared shirts or a business suit, you know what I'm saying, you ain't gonna be thinking twice. But that's the person who's robbing you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the art of war is to let you fight each other while they sit back. It's like y'all seen a meme where they have people in the slavery. They was like, they still all here fighting over colorism. You know what I'm saying? We did a great job, and they like clapping, like shaking hands and giving each other a high five. Like, that's how you do it. You get each other to keep shooting each other first. You know what I'm saying? And then the whole time you just sit back, and throw another thing in the mix.
But that's what they did in the movie in blood when the whole Blood Diamond era. They kept the war going between black people, and they know how to. It's a system they put in place to keep us fighting, keep the war going. Even in this country, they got to keep the bloodshed going between black people, whether it's two black gangs or whatever the case is. They got to keep, because this is how they make their money. It's a money making thing. Black death, racism makes money. Racism makes money, and we got to understand that. The question is how we gonna come together to fight against that. You know what I'm saying? And the only way we're going to do that is that we have to start controlling and running our own community, our own neighborhoods, and turn them into communities. That's what we're going to have to do. So we're going to have to start giving jobs to people that really need jobs. You know what I'm saying? That's how we're going to get the respect, because we don't even get to respect our own people. You know what I'm saying? So the everything has to change. The whole this religion shit got to change. We got to start getting rid of a lot of this shit, a lot of this crap. Now I want to just say this before I pass the mic. I don't think white people race is diminished. Is I don't think let me say this. I don't think white people race is decreasing. I think it's increasing. Because now you got a lot of Latinos saying they're white. You got a lot of biracial saying they're white. You got a lot of the Arabs. You got more and more people are claiming white. So because they want to be part of that system. So yes, I believe that we're not the majority. We are the minority. Because now you got a lot of people claiming whiteness now, and they want to be part of and yes, like with these white people like Jennifer Lopez, I think she's racist as hell. Fat Joe, we already know he's racist, but they claim white. They don't say they don't say they brown people. They say they white. They put white on their application. So that's what I'm saying. I think their race is increasing. I think that's a myth that the people just putting out there. It's just a feel good talk that I hear black people say, oh well, their race is decreasing. I don't believe that. I just don't. I just don't believe that, and I'm just going by statistics. And I don't mind.
All right. Unless Consider got something to say, we're gonna kind of speed through. So, Consider, you want to say something before we go?
No, go ahead.
All right, so you had mentioned the biracial thing, you know what I'm saying? And you know what? That leads to black people talking about J. Edgar Hoover is black. And there was an interesting discussion the other day. And they were saying, can black people be married to other people and still be in the black movement? And most of the people, I was surprised. Well, most of the people said no, but I was a little bit surprised by the people who said they could. But I have people who actually came on here and said, well, they believe in the one drop rule. If you have any kind of black blood in you, then that is true. And so then I asked, does all people in the world have black blood in them? They say yes. And so naturally, they said no to this answer at first. But then when I asked after those questions, I said, so does that mean all black people or all people in the world are black? They had to logically say yes if they believe in the one drop rule, which would lead to be like, is J. Edgar Hoover black? It's generally believed J. Edgar Hoover had black roots and was even referred to as soul brother. Wow. All right, so twins, one is black, one is white, supposedly.
Believe it or not.
But
what are the odds that one
these
would be black
are their parents?
and bad?
I'm not sure if she's even, black. Now, You heard what that white boy said earlier with the Richard Spencer thing. You know what I'm saying? You have to have 4, starting right now, and whatever day it is and whatever year it is, you know what I'm saying, that we doing this. You got to have 4 black grandparents or whatever, or at least 3.5 black grandparents. Because I'm gonna be nice. 3.5 black parents, because I'm black, you know what I'm saying? I'm spooked out too, you know what I'm saying? So 3.5 black grandparents to be considered black from now on. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important that you define who you are, what you allow in your culture, what you don't. You know what I'm saying? Yo, self-definition is key, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I understand certain things, and that's why I don't, and I also don't understand certain things. But okay, so y'all got something to say. And this was another reason, you know, biracial winner of Miss Black University of Texas. And that was backlash because I'm just messing with Bakari when I say this, but you know, people like Bakari will say she's black or whatever, you know, because he be advocating for them light skinned black girls or mixed girls. But I'm joking, but yeah. So y'all got something to say about that one?
Yeah, I don't advocate mixed race. I don't biracial people are not my people. So that's a whole nother, that's like, to me, that's you know, for calling a mixed person black, I think that's more insulting. Um like, for example, I'm gonna give you, it's like diluted. The black is diluted, right? So like, I give you a perfect example. If a lion mixed with a tiger, right? A male lion mixed with a female tiger, or vice versa. Will the offspring will still be a lion, or will the offspring still be a tiger? No, it'll be a liger. You know what I'm saying? They don't say, oh, if you take one species and take two and mix them up, that person will still be a lion or still be a tiger. So if you don't do that for them, why are they doing that to us? Why they say, oh, well, she's still black? Because white people do not accept black people. They will not accept us. So they'll say, well, that person's black, because they're trying to keep their race pure as possible. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to dilute your race. It's okay to fuck up your race, but you're not going to mess up my race. So yeah, that child's going to be black, and that child's going to, still be a slave. That child's still going to get the same type of treatment as black people. But as a white person, we're not. We're going to still be pure. We still going to enjoy our privilege, and that's what they're telling people now. Oh yeah, they're black. They're black. But no, they're not black. They're their own separate race, separate species. So I don't include them as far as my people. So I yield the mic on that.
Some of them don't even consider themselves black. So why are we going to accept a mutt? I'm just saying, even in the kingdom, the animal kingdom, right? If they have a monkey that's an albino, they kick them out. If you're not a monkey on a monkey, then and you look different, they don't even accept those, whatever they are, in their clan. In the animal kingdom, you look, if it's deformed, they kill it, right?
Yep.
Back in the day, just like the Indians, they say, hey, you're an Indian, you stay put with us, but because if you go out there, you have to stay. The Indians won't even let you come back into the clan if you go out and you try to bring a white man. No, we have to stop accepting anything and everything. These little mixed babies, if their moms are white, you're not going to tell me that some of these women are calling them babies niggas. I'm just saying. You're not going to tell me that. Because I've seen a show where this white woman was talking about her black child. She said she feels racism against her black child. So some of these white women are dating these black men, having these black babies, mixed babies, and treating them like crazy. And then they're talking about the black side of the family, like dogs, and the child is sitting right there. So of course the child is gonna grow up to hate black people because the mama hates black folk, and and that's all they heard was the mom disrespecting black women. So we have to we have to stop accepting we're creating other enemies. We're creating other enemies for our Black grandbabies and our Black children. And let me ask you a question. Why is it that we as Black people are not considering moving to the motherland? Why? Why are we tolerating why are we tolerating this? We could make money here and move there and live comfortable. Why aren't we doing it? Question of the day.
Yeah. And it's another $1 million question. Another one I asked is, how do you get Black people to stop hating each other? But so yeah, as you see here, with the mixed thing. So I'm gonna play some of this and y'all can jump in. I know like it's getting late, so if y'all gotta jump off, I understand. That's why I'm trying to hurry up and get through all of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in a minute because I gotta get up. But go ahead.
Yeah. I didn't mean to come on so late. I'm sorry.
This was good though. I appreciate it. This was good. Go ahead. I'm listening.
All right. So yeah, anytime, just let me know. But I'm gonna just play just like 2 minutes of this, and then y'all can
We can't hear it.
Yeah, and by the way, yeah, God showed this video. I meant to say that, God showed this video. That's where I got it from. You showed this video before. So yeah.
It's sounding muffled. We can't really hear it though.
Oh, for real? Damn, I don't know why.
We can't hear it, Forecast.
All right.
As other white people, there's this notion that when you marry
that's better.
person, that particular white person was more liberal than other whites. The research does not bear that out. The research shows that they are just as racist as other white people. And
to say that, for me to say that every white woman, because I married a white woman, every white woman, my wife, every white woman or white person is inherently racist, I think is wrong, because you're not giving that person a chance to prove to you who they are. Like if I take that notion, then that means that everybody that looks at me is gonna think that I am inherently racist toward them.
And this dude gonna break his neck agreeing with him. I like to give
people a chance to prove to me who they are first. Then when you prove to me you're racist, I know who you are. But if you prove to me that you have character, you're upstanding, and that you look at within before you look outward, then I can roll with you. I can rock with you. And that's kind of how, in determining when I dated my wife, I could see that she had those characters.
That Black women are not valued, Black women are not wanted, and that there is something inherently wrong with Black women, and that's why they're not.
Yeah, we know. We already know. We agree with him.
So again, I'm not here to like push belief.
All right, I'm gonna stop right there. Y'all can watch that video. Go ahead.
But their history, we don't have. What do you mean proof? Proof is in the pudding. We see history. That's proof enough. I don't need for them to come up in my face and say, "Hey, you're a nigga." I don't need them to say that. I can look at the history. I could see them when they were burning my ancestors alive. When they cut the babies out of the stomach and the baby hit the ground and you stomped the heads, or you fed the babies to the alligators. That's proof enough that they hate us. So why am I going to marry somebody that I know history has shown me that they've hated us since the beginning? And every chance they get, when she gets mad, guess what you're going to be? I don't care. You could say what you want to say. Every last white person that I've ever known in my life has been a racist at some point. They grow up like that. They may act like they're not. When you're allowing them to mistreat you and use you, and you're not acting Black, then because you've shown them that you're safe. But act like me and see how many white friends you have. I don't have any. I've worked with them, but I don't have any white friends because I don't trust them. Because my history has shown me that they're not trustworthy to be in my circle. Why would I want to hang around with a demon or a devil? I'm just saying. Why would I want to hang around with somebody that I know that'll stab me in my back and smile in my face and lie and say, I don't know what happened. I just saw her laying here on the ground with a knife in her back. I pass.
Yeah, consider you know, we just gotta wait to see if they gonna hang us or if we fall in the river first before we make any judgment.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I got some more, but you know, if you need to close out, you can close out. I'm gonna put because I want you to tell them about Realm in the Bush before it get too late, you know. You want to do that now?
Okay. Oh my goodness. Did the young man have anything he want to say?
Oh, you wanted to
Yeah,
say something, guy?
yeah. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna jump off, man. It's been a great show, man, and everything. And I'm glad I met the our sister. You know what I'm saying? What's her name? Realm in the Bush. I'm glad I met.
Consider Cheeks. That's her. That's what she's trying to build her business. That's her company.
Oh, okay, perfect. Cool. I'll subscribe to her channel. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah. So to address that, it's very to me. It's like I said. It's a sickness. That some of our people going through. It got to the point. It's very unnatural. To me, it's just so unnatural to try to mate with somebody that don't look like you, don't even look like your mother or your father. It's very unnatural. It's like homosexuality. It's interracial relationship is equivalent to homosexuality. It's very unnatural. It's unnatural. You know what I'm saying? You come from a black mother and black father just for you to marry a woman or marry a man that don't look like your parents. Animals don't even do that. Insects don't even do that. I don't care. Even roaches don't do that. But it's something wrong with African people when they feel they look at another way because like in that brother who was he's not my brother, but the coon that was talking, he said that we got to build a bridge with with our oppressor. We got to build, this is his word, we got to build a bridge between white and blacks. Now I'm going to say this, and I'm going to do a program because those are Frederick Douglass talking points. All that what you're hearing, all that come from Frederick Douglass. Okay, he was the one that said we didn't have no connection to Africa. He was the one that turned around and said that we should build a bridge between white and blacks. All that what you're hearing with black people today, all that come from Frederick Douglass. And I hate to say this, now Frederick Douglass is a mulatto. He even said that his father was a white man. And it doesn't matter how he got with his mother, but he was proud to say he was a mulatto. And but the funny thing, he was a runaway slave. So he didn't benefit of being a mulatto, but he's proud to say he's a mulatto. Yeah, we already know that his first wife was black. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really starting to really question black women, particularly, and black men that marry these mulatto people. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm really starting to question that now. Because I'm just like, you couldn't get yourself a whole black person. You gotta get yourself a half black person. And they're not. And one thing I know that they're not going to talk about the sick shit that goes into the bedroom. I heard that one black woman. She said, "Yeah, my man or my husband, my white husband, loves plantation sex. So we played a role. I played a role as a runaway slave chick, and he catch me around the house and he rapes me. This is their way. This is the way of her turning her white husband on. This is the sick sexual behavior that these people sleep with dogs. Okay, they are known of creating bestiality. So their history is disgusting. They the one who came up with homosexuality, not African people. We wasn't about that. We was about the Trinity, the black man, black woman, and child. And they hated that. So what you do, we're gonna rape your woman, we're gonna kill the black man, and we're gonna brainwash and molest your children. Now the LGBT has tried to, and they still trying to work on our children. Trying to look at Dwayne Wade, how he's going to take his black son and make him to a female. Talking about he's going to cut off his son's penis now. This is the sick. Our people went like my shout out to Tanzania, but she said it best. She said our people went rogue. Our people went rogue. Forecast. It's scary. There's like anything goes now with these people. They took on and I hate to say this, but even Charles Manson said that. Even he said you should play that next time. Play that Charles Manson shit. He said you took the black man out the jungle. And now they act just like you. He was talking to this white reporter. He said, now they acting just like you. But they said that only they act just like you, they trying to act better than y'all. This is what Charles Manson said. You should play that next time. So our people we went rogue. It's every man for himself type of shit. They doing anything, everything, and they want people like us to accept it. And they willing to kill us if we don't bow down to this white power structure, because that's all it is. This is our own people doing this. So we have to see this is a big war. We not only fight, we fighting two wars. We fighting this. We have a civil war. We fighting two wars. So yes, I do agree. Yes, that we yes, you got black people or the guard dogs of white people. So we got to get through. We got to fight them, and then we got to fight to get to their boss, to get to their master. So yes, we have a big fight. We have a big fight on our hands, but we have to have more programs like this. So because our people are waking up. Our people are listening to you, Forecast. They're listening to you. So we waking up our people slowly. We waking them up. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, brother. This is a great program. I appreciate to our sister, man. She dropped some jewels. And I'm always learning, you know what I mean? So I want to thank you so much. I want to thank everybody in the chat for being active. And we definitely, man, we need more of this, man. And I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yo, thank you, my brother. I put my brother God channel in the chat. Yo, thank you for coming through. So y'all can go over to God channel, subscribe, all of that. You know, if y'all want to hear more, guys. So yo, definitely good looking for coming through, my brother.
All right.
And yeah, thank you, my brother. And
All
I my brother.
Peace.
And I got peace. And yo, I do got more, but I want to my sister Cassandra to give a proper close. You be preaching, and I like the fire, and it's interesting, like yo, because even though there's a lot of brothers with the fire, sisters come through with the fire and the knowledge, and they're more revolutionary than the brothers on the. And I can't say that. I'm just saying by my personal experience. But I want you to tell the people about Rome in the Bush and the things that you got going on. Black women do stuff, and then so many of us is hating on each other. And black men do stuff, you know what I'm saying, and stop hating on each other, you know. But yeah, so I want you to give a proper going out, because you bring the fire every time, and I appreciate you, like, you know.
Well, thank you, Forecast. Thank you for even letting me come on and just share my little opinion. But I love the show. I love the awakening. I love how you're bringing the awakening to the people. You're waking them up. This stuff is good for us to be able to. It's almost like you're shouting it from the mountaintop. This is the think tanks. This is what we need for our people to understand what's really going on. You know, everybody is not asleep. Everybody is not trying to mix and mingle. Everybody is not trying to build a bridge with demons. I'm not. I'm just saying this is not the time, because they've shown themselves, they've proven themselves. So why in the world are I going to still trust you to build anything with you? I don't trust you. So how do you build? How do you lay with somebody every night and then say that this is your friend when you see them burning your ancestors alive? That's crazy. I don't understand it for me. But let them do whatever, because like we got to get building. You know, it's time to build. All of that other stuff is whatever. If you want to hang out with them, you go right ahead. But we over here in Ram of the Bush is building, and this is why it was created. It's created so that we can build our own tables. It's created so that we can teach we have the CDO classes, and we have security classes, and we have the barber schools. We have the cosmetology schools. These are things that we have that we're trying to teach our young men and women how to build their tables and how to own their own businesses. And we have a lot of young Black guys and girls that want their own businesses, but they don't know how to do it. The one CDO, the truck driver, that's $85,000 first year. Come on. All you got to do is free training. Free. They give you a bus ticket to get to Indiana or Utah. Yeah, those are 2 places that they go. But guess what? You have to work with them for a year. And after a year, you can take that certificate and you can either have your own truck and work for yourself, or you can continue working for them, or you can take it and work, locally. You don't have to stay on the road, but you do have to work with them for a year. Security. We do from 18 to 21. 18-year-olds are unarmed and the 20-year-olds are armed in the barber school. Okay. Free. The kit is $1,300. He's writing it off. $3,000. The kit that they give you is like what, $3,000? He's writing it off, or $1,300. I'm sorry. He's writing it off, so they don't pay anything. So it's things that we can do, and you can take that and have your own business. Open up your own shop. This is why I want a medulla. I keep calling them medulla. It's actually a doula. I don't know why I keep calling them medulla. It's a doula. This person is, and a midwife. You say we need our own clinics. I'm trying to put stuff in place for us after a year to have our own. We can have our own clinic attached to the Ram in the Bush. We can have our own security team. So you call, instead of calling 911, you call 811 and call Ram in the Bush nationwide. And if you having an issue, we'll show up. This is what we're trying to do. But we can't build it because Black folk, we got to free our mind first. It's here. All you do is give me a year. And I'll take it, and I guarantee you, we'll be building our own table within that year. But you have to want to see it. Like Xavier Institute. I want to partner with him. Let's have a school. That's our Black school in New York. It's called Xavier Institute. Why aren't we taking our babies out of these schools? We complain about the schools. We complain about the prison pipeline, right? But what are we doing about it? He's got a whole Black school waiting for us. Let's get busy and build that school up. That could be our school, nationwide, globally. You have to look at these things as being global, not just something that's in one spot. Because I'll talk to people in Florida. You know somebody in Florida? You want me to join with them? I'll give you my number. I'll put it in the chat. You have them to contact me, or raminthebush.com is my email. Hit me up. Tell me, hey, there's a place in Georgia. There's a place in Florida. There's a place in Kansas. I don't care where it is. If you want me to partner up with them and they're willing to partner up and they have students in those areas, that's even better. We can do globally, but I can't do it by myself. So that's what Ram in the Bush is all about, building our own tables. Forecast. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So if you know anybody, any professional or whatever, in any field, whether it be dentist or, any kind of field, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least highlight them. It's worth a try, and if anybody's interested, you can email me. Mine is in the description. That's realminthebush@gmail.com, right?
Yes, forecast. Thank you. Yes. And we'll anything we can, dentistry, it doesn't matter. We're looking for a website. We want to build our own websites. We need people that can build websites. Teach us. If you are willing to train them, let me know. Partner up. Let's train them so we can build our own website. We need our own Black tube. I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
We can get off of this YouTube. They want to censor us. So, okay, let's build our own. Let's not keep complaining about white people. Let's build our own.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one last thing before you go. I'll put her a channel in the chat for anybody interested. I know you come on Sundays. Did you settle on
I'm trying. So Lord, please, I'm really trying. I want to do it early Sundays, like 12 o'clock, but it's not been working. But usually 12 o'clock, that's when I'm trying to do Sundays at 12.
Okay.
And
make sure y'all subscribe. It's just Sunday. Make sure y'all on the Proud Bar anytime, because you never know what's gonna happen in the world. So y'all just subscribe and hit the button to make sure, because she always bring the fire. I'm telling you, And if anybody is any professional or plumber, anything, you know what I'm saying, because we need plumbers, we definitely need website designers. And by the way, you said that my brother MD2 brought up a good thing with the water thing, because you know, it's still up there, you know what I'm saying? It's still there, you know, but what I want to do is try to make a move where, you know, we could get like help more than just one person, you know what I'm saying, to try to make it more professional, you know. So if anybody who has any ideas or anything like that, you know, I want you to make sure you contact me. And if you're good at building websites, contact me, because you know, we want to do it bigger than that, you know. So
Yes, and you and I supposed to talk about some other stuff too, about that water too.
yes,
Yes,
yeah,
okay.
because I'm gonna need all the help in the world, because you know, I'm still green behind the ears, you know. So
You're not green behind the ears sometimes. You just want to say that, didn't you?
nah, I'm still young. I'm learning from all of y'all every time y'all speak, you know. So I just want y'all to know that, you know. But yeah.
But thanks again, Forecast. I appreciate you. And you're doing an amazing job. Keep up the great work. Keep it up. I love to see young people just making their own way. You making a way. And you got people listening. You got young folk that's looking, they listening, they hear. Because it's easier for you to get them, because they looking, oh my God, he's young. You keep doing what you're doing. I'm proud of you. I appreciate you. I love you are on fire, and stay and keep that fire. Keep that fire. It doesn't matter what people say, because people they don't understand, and they're gonna say what they want to say, and let them talk. It's okay. You just know that everybody has their part, and you continue doing your part, and I continue doing my part, and we build together, and we have a whole. Everybody has got to do their part, and if we're busy doing our part, we ain't got time to talk about nobody else, because there's so much to be done. It's so much to be done. And if you're doing your part, I'm doing my part, and everybody else is doing their part, who has time to be messy, and who has time to fight? Who has time? We're just watching our back as we build. And wait, give us a year, and you'll see a difference. You'll see a difference.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. But thank you.
Yeah, and you on fire more than me. I'm just standing over here trying to get some smoke, you know. That's all. But yeah, yo, you bring the fire every time, and I appreciate Cassandra so much. You know what I'm saying? And y'all support what she's doing, because yo, the one thing I respect about her, she don't play. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of thing we need. Yo, stop playing. You know, that's pretty much the message. You know. But yeah.
I like that. I like that. Stop playing, huh?
Yeah, stop playing. Like, yo, we play too much. We be smiling and laughing, you know. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, yo. I'm probably gonna be on. I would actually stop the show here, but I'm probably gonna be on here a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to get all this out, because I don't want to keep talking about the same thing. I want to go on to something productive, but I gotta get this coon like energy out, because I've been holding it in for so long, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not hard on the coon, and I'm not even hard on the coon right now, you know. But I gotta get this out. You know what I'm saying?
You keep talking. I'm gonna catch the rest tomorrow, but I'm going to bed tonight, right now. But thank you, and have a good night, and keep up the good work, Forecast. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, thank you, and good night.
Good night. Bye bye.
All right, so yo, you know, that was definitely true from the sister, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, I would end the show here. Maybe I'll split it up for people who say I make too long of a show. But you know what? Tonight I'm on here. And you know what? If you got a problem with anything I'm saying, if you one of those people that, because look, all of that stuff is coon stuff to me. And this is why I'll be saying I'm not hard on the coon, because a lot of people be saying a lot of coon stuff to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I let y'all slide, I let y'all live. And then the things that y'all give other people passes for is like, yo, it's sickening. And I understand we not on that level that we supposed to be on yet. And I get it, but it's just sickening to see all of this madness. You know what I'm saying? So you know what? I'm gonna take my time today, and I don't care how long I'll be on. I ain't got nothing to do tomorrow, or I'm chilling. I'm off tomorrow, so you know. And that's the thing, you know, the fact that I got to say that, and enough of us is not sick enough at that point. You know what I'm saying? And that's only my job. It's just to piss you off. You know what I'm saying? This is just YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to you know what I'm saying, show you what's up and to try to teach you and learn lessons and all of this stuff. But we talk and talk and talk, but it's important to learn things too. It's crazy how much stuff we don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna actually start taking my time and going through this. I'm gonna just play a little bit more of this because I'm sick of this. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all out here talking about white bitches can literally, because you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and let the guard down a little bit more. And if you can come on here, you can if you want and say anything you want to say. If you want to sit here and cape for your biracial niece or son, you know what I'm saying, because you that white girl you had that time, or your mom or your grandma or something like that, and you feel whatever. This is not a personal attack. You know what I'm saying? This is not nothing personal about a mulatto person. You know what I'm saying? It's just that how can a white bitch have a black kid? A white bitch having a black daughter? Are you sick? A white dude having a black son? A white boy? Are you sick? How can a white person have a black child? And then I had a Mexican dude who came on here. He don't come on here no more because I guess he thought I'm a person of all color and, you know, power to all the oppressed people. No, we talking about black stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he said he had a black wife and had a black child or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, his black child, he said, I asked him, why isn't your child brown then? He was like, well, they would never accept him. They would never accept him. And he was like, well, he's black. You know what? I don't accept him either, but they don't give a damn about that. But you know what? I don't give a damn about them. You know what I'm saying? That his son is his son is Mexican, not black. You know what I'm saying? But that's some kind of blasphemous statement. Y'all don't understand how much y'all be cooning when y'all allow other people to come in like this. You know what I'm saying? And to give your whatever away, your identity away to where somebody else can have a child that you call black. That's crazy.
But it's like, again, I'm doing this because I enjoy being around people who are good, regardless of who you are. Just that simple with me.
Right, but the question is, do you believe you have, as a black man, you have a responsibility to society in any way?
Absolutely not. You know, black or white, I'm not born in this life to be responsible for anyone or anything. I mean, it's just my decision on how.
Now you hear this stuff now. He's probably like 80, but this is the 85%ers here. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is we have a 10% crowd. You know what I'm saying? That feel like it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Where you can allow biracial people to classify themselves. You know what I'm saying? Yo, no, that's not on the level you need to be to get to where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? If you want to have spouse of somebody else, you know what I'm saying, then destroy the whole system that exists and create black supremacy, and then go have sex with whoever you want to have sex with, as long as a system is in place to ensure that you are protected. You know what I'm saying, that you aren't going to be just killed in the street, or somebody sit on your neck for 10 minutes and nothing happens. You know what I'm saying? Before we start talking about allowing other people to the cookout, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what? Our cookouts is packed at this point, you know what I'm saying? And it's not so much like him talking about, oh, I don't have a responsibility. Yeah, exactly, bro. And it's not so much him talking about, oh, I don't have, because it's some people that say we do have the responsibility, but still will make this same dumb argument. You let somebody else define, and I get people try to use that argument in a circular way. But if you let somebody else who's a totally different race, you know what I'm saying? And this goes back to, you wonder why when they be talking about, oh, those black slave owners, the first slave owner in America was black. That's false. You know why? You know, the first slave owner was a white boy named Hugh Gwyneth or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And the first quote unquote slave, a person held for life for no reason, John Punch. Right? But do you understand, like, when they be like talk about the black slave owners, they limited to South Carolina and then some in North Carolina. I'm not saying that it wasn't quote unquote black slave owners, but most of them, you know what I'm saying, owned their family members, you know what I'm saying, and they had human whatever, you know what I'm saying. But for the most part, they're talking about mulattoes when they be like, yo, this person owned hundreds of, yo, they're talking about a mulatto person whose parent was white, who was the slave owner. Do you know how many they enslaved their own damn children? But every once in a while, they would take one of them as their own and raise them up. And they would use that. You know what I'm saying? And then they would turn around and be like, you know, the larger, no, this was a mulatto person. And you know why I say what I said about Haiti or whatever, and that's no disrespect for the warrior stuff that they did, but it's just certain things that we got to start accepting, you know what I'm saying? And that's the fact that, you know, it was the internal divisions, number one, that caused the problem, you know what I'm saying? And then it was black, you know, the black class fighting against the mulatto class because the mulatto class had a different kind of indoctrination as we do in America. Because the French did it different than they did here, and especially on islands, you know, where they have mulatto children. They created this class who felt like the black people, fully black people, was supposed to be under them. And that caused a lot of divisions, and that allowed a weakness for somebody to come back in and destroy you and to make you pay them. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying we have to eliminate the weakness part, take the strength part and eliminate the weakness part. And also self-definition is important, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times at the end of the day, this is that mindset. Like this brother over here was ready to break his neck nine with what he was saying before.
Right. But the question is, do you believe you have, as a black man, you have a responsibility to society in any way?
Absolutely not. You know, black or white, I'm not born in this life to be responsible for anyone or anything. I mean, it's just my decision on how I live my life, regardless of how you feel about it. So it's
Now,
not.
I bet you if he was talking to Richard Spencer, he would be telling him he had a responsibility to not be saying the stuff that he's saying. But oh yeah, it's racist of a black person. That's crazy, man. We sick, man.
Responsibility whatsoever as a black man,
quote unquote.
Did you seek out a white woman?
Absolutely
because to
not.
Me, that's a misconception that black men seek out white women. So
now let me tell you this, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, yo. We gotta address a lot of coon stuff that's been going down for decades and centuries and stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, this white bitch has been the destructions of civilizations, of cities, of ideas, of concepts, of movements. And man, I don't know what it is, man. Yo, it's always allowing, man, we give these white bitches a pass, man.
Even if that's your preference, it's your business. It's like almost like being gay. You know, that's your preference of dating whomever you want. You know, and again, that's not why I did it because I need a Caucasian woman. No, I'm around different people all the time. You know, again, I'm around a lot of dark skinned people who are terrible. Even my own family members, they could be
there we go.
terrible people to be around.
There we go. See, this is the thing people don't want to talk about when they start making these. Like when we start talking about biracial, most of the people who got that argument is because they got somebody in their damn family. You know what I'm saying? And this is not to get personal. I'm not trying to judge nobody. You know what I'm saying? It start getting emotional, and y'all don't understand slippery slopes yet. You know what I'm saying? But y'all will find out one day. But you know, it's been hurting us for what 3,000 years now since you know, the Greeks invaded. You know what I'm saying? Africa or whatever the first invasion was. It's been what, I know it's been at least 3,000 probably. You know what I'm saying? But it's this mindset here, you know what I'm saying? It's just I don't understand, you know.
And they're dark skinned. So I'm not around them as much. But
See?
if they were Caucasian, I'll treat them the same way. If you're not
now, and not only do they usually have biracial nieces, grandparents, sons, daughters, you know, I don't want to talk about that. Not only do they have that, it's usually this trauma or turmoil. Like when you talk about somebody who had a problem with black women or something, they'd be like, yo, you ask them about their family, they'd be like, yo, forget my mom, forget my sister, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. It's somebody personal who did something grimy. And sometimes people will judge a whole whatever off of that, you know what I'm saying? And people will be like, you know, racism is the same thing. But no, we're talking about power and self-control, you know what I'm saying? Like controlling my food. And that's telling somebody I gotta get a shot, or going to work for somebody who, you know, you make 10 times more money than me, even though I'm doing 20, 30, 40, 50 times the work. You know what I'm saying? And it's this mindset, you know what I'm saying, that somebody has done something to us. Now, the brother who I wanted to come on, and let me be real, I probably should have said this earlier. You know what I'm saying? My brother played the video of when the brother Angel came on here, you know what I'm saying? And that wasn't the purpose. And I don't want none of my videos to be trying to play no brothers on here. That's why I don't come on here and argue with other black people, you know what I'm saying? But he was talking, it was a mindset that, you know, oh, this black supremacy, this you know, like what he's saying. And usually that comes out of this hurt, you know what I'm saying, that black people experience. That I get it, I understand. I'm not saying that people haven't hurt you and stuff, but it's usually this personal vendetta with your personal life. When you listen to, you know, black women saying that, it's usually somebody who did them personally dirty, you know what I'm saying? But we never account all the people in our lives who was not like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, that person is exception, that person is exception. And then we all have our personal exceptions. You know what I'm saying? And that's what y'all don't get about the slippery slope, because your exception is not somebody else's exception. You know what I'm saying? And if it was up to me, I'd be harder on the coons than y'all would be. When I say I'm not as hard, it's because a lot of coon tendencies come out of a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't allow more people. I have more strict rules about who I would allow, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I understand what you're talking about YouTube, but stuff is a tool. Y'all let it bother you. I don't understand why y'all let it bother you. You know what I'm saying? Like, learn the damn lesson. You know what I'm saying? Learn the point. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then sometimes, yeah, I like the troll. You know what I'm saying? I got my immature moments or whatever. But, you know, like I was saying, man, this stuff is born out of this hatred and this somebody did something to me. Y'all gotta understand that it's not coming out of nowhere. And this is why I'm really like, yo, I'm not hard on the coon so much. You know, it's not that I give them a pass. It's not that, you know, somebody who should be locked up in a mental institution shouldn't be locked up in a mental institution. I'm just saying they should be in a mental institution. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's this hatred and this self-deprecation, and it comes from trauma that we pass down from generation to generation to generation. You know what I'm saying? And then we internalize it and look in the mirror and see this self-hatred, and we look at it, and then we see other people, and, well, I had this experience with this black person, but we discount the good experiences. It's a mindset, man.
If you're a bad person, I won't be around you. Just that simple, really.
Do interracial relationships affect the Black economy? That's a really deep question right there. Dr. Umar, can you give us a deep answer?
Of course, interracial marriages affect the Black community.
Not to cut my brother off, and I'm gonna stop it.
Economic betrayal, my brother.
That's economic betrayal. But you know what? While we on, and because I be on black women too about going into shops, especially when a brother went out there to go fight for him. Because I played that video too, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know y'all like to be like, I give him a pass, but I don't. But what I'm saying is the same people who is going on black women, because you heard the sister consider chicks just say, I don't want them touching me. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of sisters that I have in my circle, not the other way around. You know what I'm saying? And especially when it comes to this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But the same people who's condemning the sisters is out there going to the Chinese restaurant to get some Chinese food. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about here? Like you know how serious you have to be? Like, I realize, you know, the daunting travels that you have to take to get to the point that you want to be. You know what I'm saying? And oh man, I wasn't even probably sharing that one. But I realized the point, the daunting point that you had to go to get to where you had to be. You know what I'm saying? and how far that you have to travel and the sacrifice that you have to take, you know? But all right, now on to the next one, because this is another one that's probably going to piss y'all off, yo. This week stuff with and I'm not trying to talk about a religion or your person or whatever, but yo, we take the weakest parts of everything, yo. We are more whatever it is than the other person. We're more Muslim than Arabs, we're more Christian than white people, or whatever you want to say. You know, we are more whatever it is than the other person. You know what I'm saying? We do everything. I like, and this is not just happened because I just got to give my brother credit, MD2. We are the extremist of all of it. You know what I'm saying? And this is not to get on this, but listen, man, this turn the other cheek stuff, this weakness, like this is why we're here. You know what I'm saying? This weakness that we have is something that we got to address. You know what I'm saying? This turn the other cheek stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So about 90% of the Old Testament's been removed and about 50% of the New Testament's as 1132.
In Christ Jesus. And no Jeremiah.
Now, let me say this. This is not about the Bible or whatever, but, listen, we're not even going to get into the scriptures thing, you know what I'm saying? But, this is about why are you taking the parts about I love everybody, my God is for everybody, but you don't even take the revolutionary parts? Why do we take the weak, submissive parts of everybody doctrine, but we don't take the, my brother Bakari says we want to be like white people, you know what I'm saying? So we imitate we love everybody BS that they portray, but we don't take creating nuclear weapons, you know what I'm saying? Or making sure we protect our culture, you know what I'm saying? Look how mad they got over the Little Mermaid, you know what I'm saying? We're not mad about somebody sitting on somebody's neck for 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying? More than the protest on the street for 10 minutes. This is what I'm trying to say, you know what I'm saying?
Woe unto him.
So listen, man. That whole turn the other cheek, you know what I'm saying? Speaking of the coon stuff, you know what I'm saying? So let me play something positive here, you know what I'm saying? Now listen, I played the video of them forgiving that white boy Dylan Roof, of them forgiving that white boy who went in. Well, they didn't quite forgive them, but they talking about, I understand he's just a child, go easy on him type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? For the Buffalo shooter. We seen a brother give a hug to a person who killed their brother while he was sitting in his house eating ice cream. But this forgiveness, you know what I'm saying? How come we can have this forgiveness for everybody but ourselves? And I realize, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you talk about, and this is what I'm gonna be like, with the coons is not stopping you, yo. It's the people who quote unquote is not the coons, you know what I'm saying? Instead of talking about something, and better yet, not doing something, unless you're talking about the plans to do something, you know what I'm saying? To build something, to build our other communities up. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to forgive each other. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the forgiveness in our hearts for each other. If we're going to have this big loving heart, you know what I'm saying? How you going to forgive somebody for coming in your house, but you see this hatred is born out of, forget my mom, forget my sister, you know what I'm saying? They've done this and this to me, but then somebody kill you, I forgive them. You know what I'm saying? And I think we need to see more of black men forgiving each other, you know what I mean? So let me play this, if we're going to talk about forgiveness.
And I testified on his behalf for his release. He could have spent 50 years in jail. It wasn't going to bring my brother back.
Daryl's brother Reuben was 17 in 1988 when 14-year-old Kim Yon Marshall fatally stabbed him after a fight at a bowling alley. In college at the time, Daryl wanted revenge.
I came home to hurt him. I came home to kill him, his mother, his sister, his brother, his baby.
Now, you know how y'all like to be like, well, black people don't hold each other account. That's a goddamn lie, man. That's all y'all talk about is, we got to bring this to the light. We got to talk about this. Oh, how come black people never talk about black on black crime? That's all black people talk about, especially when somebody say, well, I understand that. Let me point the spotlight over here because we aren't really focusing on this particular news. Oh, Lord, now, you know what I'm saying? We best not. Well, how was that black person acting? Well, what was their beliefs? Where was they from? Was they Pan-African? Because even that, you know what I'm saying? I know we like to give ourselves a pass and go after one group, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not biased because there's a lot of people who quote unquote call themselves Pan-African that you give a pass. I just don't call them out because I'm not on here to be joining the minstrel show like y'all are. And I'll say y'all, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but you know what, the shoe fit. But I'm not here to join the minstrel show, so I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to educate people where I can. You know, if we have entertaining conversations, there's a time and place for it. You know what I'm saying? But this art of forgiveness, you know what I'm saying, is something foreign, especially immediately, because the first thing we have in mind is that, yo, I'm gonna go shoot that N-word's house up. You know what I'm saying? And then because only reason I say N-word and not the word, and I will only use the word in context now, because shouts out to my brother Bakari. And even from the very first show live that I did talking about the N-word, everybody who called in or had an opinion said no, they're not with it. You know what I'm saying? But we're scared to say certain words on their channel because they may do something to this. They could take down this channel anytime they want to, but they're listening for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And I don't really care, you know what I'm saying? And they're giving it blackball. But you know what? I was able to meet so many powerful people and learn so many powerful lessons. And you know what? More is to come. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I have to learn the art of forgiving myself, forgiving each other. You know what I'm saying? The people that look like me first before I can consider talking about this people of color thing. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the time, not everybody, most of the time, you know what I'm saying? When people talk about, oh, why y'all don't talk about this, they don't talk about that, it's because you're trying to give a pass to this and you include this people of color into your stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Cousin, it didn't matter. I wanted his family to feel the same pain, the same hurt that I was feeling.
Sent to adult prison, Kim Yan served 25 years, giving Daryl plenty of time to quiet his rage.
And by the way, speaking of black on black crime, guess who goes to jail? I don't see people out here protesting this crime because the dude did 25 years in jail, bro. Like, when you bring up that stuff, like, that's stupid because, okay, give the dude the same punishment as him, and let's see if the people go riot or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it took this brother 25 years. I ain't gonna say it took him 25 years, but 25 years after he did his sentence, he was able to move on and forgive. Not during the trial, you know what I'm saying, where you get off and go hug him with the judge or whatever, because you know what, he was a brother who did it. So of course that's impossible. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to do away with the black people first before we can dare look at anybody else, you know? Yeah, we keep getting stuck on that dumb cycle, you know?
I was carrying his weight around for forever, and I was dying inside of unforgiveness. And it was only then when I forgave him was I free.
In court, Daryl told a judge Kim Yan had served enough time, and he asked the judge if he could approach his brother's killer.
And we were standing face to face, and I shook his hand. But when he went to shake my hand, he shook my hand like this because he had shackles on. He was crying and I was crying. And I said to him that you were known for taking life. Now let's you and I go and save some lives together.
And that is exactly what they are trying to do together.
The next voice.
And if you think black on black crime is an issue, go out here and do what these brothers are doing. That's the other thing. Shut up and do it. Like, either we are going to do this or shut up and go assimilate. I know for me, like, what else do I have to lose? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what else? They took my language. I'm having a hard time trying to find my ancestry. You know what I'm saying? I can get to my great-great-grandparents, but then it started getting tough. Like, yo, what else can they do to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I got to lose? But if you feel like you got something to lose, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's other things that you can do, you know what I'm saying? Like, just shut up. And if you feel like that, then just shut up and don't even talk about it. You know, go make a channel about video games, you know what I'm saying? If you feel like, oh well, thank God, you know what I'm saying, for slavery, or you know, if you feel like, you know, if it wasn't for that, I'll be, you know, it wouldn't be the tech. I wouldn't be as advanced as I am. Because you're saying what Richard Spencer said at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you're wrong or whatever. Just shut up and go play video games and assimilate quietly. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, speaking of the Matrix, if the world is like the Matrix, you know what I'm saying? You can't unplug somebody if their mind ain't ready. I'm not focused on the people who ain't ready to be unplugged. I'm going after you know what I'm saying, the boss, you know what I'm saying? And the guard dogs, if they're in the way, they're in the way, you know what I'm saying? But if you got a problem with any of that, then go do what they're doing or shut the hell up.
And that is exactly what they are trying to do together.
The next voice y'all hear is from the young man who took my brother's life.
How y'all doing today?
I look like you. Yo, do you see that? Black men hugging each other. I think we need to see more black men. It's okay to hug another brother, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what? The revolutionary matron said a very, very, very thing that'll weigh on me for a very long time. We go to a 9-to-5 job, and I don't talk to none of the black people if they're ADOS or Pan African. We go shut the hell up and do somebody else's job. And I'm not saying all black people work for other people, but most of us do. A lot of us do. And we shut the hell up and go work for them and do the goddamn job and then get off. And the work that we're really supposed to be doing, instead of doing that, we argue with each other about where we come from. It's literally crazy. And this brother here had a brother kill his brother. I'm not saying, you know, it shouldn't be punishment or whatever the punishment may be for something like that, because that's a heinous crime. But black men forgiving each other and hugging each other is a powerful thing, and something that we need to see in forgiveness and talking it out. And I'm not saying, like I said, talk to somebody who killed your brother. This is an extreme example, but this is why I'm playing it. But of course, we do everything to the extreme, right? So
you don't.
This is Kimyon Marshall today. At 46, he is on a redemption tour with the man who forgave him.
The violence got to stop. We got to find a way to communicate with one another and heal one another. We got work to do. We got to make Ruben's name mean for something. I got to do something. I can't leave this earth like this.
My brother's death, his life has got to mean something.
It is among the most remarkable relationships to behold.
I don't call him Padero. Y'all call him Padero. I call him Big Brother.
Like a brother.
Yes. That's what he is.
Not everybody in my family agrees with what I'm doing.
It'd be fair to say some people probably think you're crazy.
Yeah.
Not Wayne Bruton.
I'm a little jealous of them because they had an opportunity to get that form of closure that I'm seeking.
Wayne, who served 38 years in prison for murder, believes connecting victim and perpetrator is so restorative. He is working with the Department of Corrections to get this unique message to inmates.
I believe that would change lives.
The unbelievable story of Daryl and Kimyon, two men who believe if they can heal, maybe everyone else can too.
And when we say everyone else, we talking about black only over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they're talking about, but we endorsing this message for black only because they would probably disagree with everything else that we have said here. And you know what? I'm not judging these brothers because they have a key, powerful thing that they're actually going out trying to talk to children and the coons and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're doing something like this and you have done, then shut the hell up. What can you say about that? You know what I'm saying? Now I can add my whatever on, you know what I'm saying, and say what I think, but that's just what I think and not what I did. Because if I wanted something like that, you know what I have to do? Go out there and do it. But to see two black men, you know what I'm saying, and the forgiveness, Like, listen, man, yo, forgive each other, especially first, if you're going to forgive each other, because we want to give everybody else this pass, you know what I'm saying? It's not that we don't expect them to do what they're doing. Of course, we expect them to do what they're doing. But what we don't expect is the response. You know what I'm saying? That's why we shouldn't expect them to keep doing what they're doing, because our response isn't what it's supposed to be. When our response is what it's supposed to be, then we'll be like, yo, I'm shocked they did this, because they know what happened to their ass. But right now, we be like, well, we're not shocked. You know why? Because nothing is going to happen to their ass. But if a brother did something, we know that's going to be a 20-year war. You know what I'm saying? It's going to turn the Bloods and the Crips, if they were supposed to be for something positive, it's going to turn into a 20-year, you know, beef. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't going to talk about when the Bloods and Crips shake hands. I'm going to show that when they shake hands, because all of y'all going to only talk about when they don't. And y'all got a problem when I show when they do. And I don't even say nothing when y'all talk about when they don't. And y'all don't even think that there's something wrong with showing this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But no, y'all would never be on this, you know, forgive each other stuff, because you know what? They don't have the right skin color or whatever. All right, hold on one second. All right, so the next thing I know y'all gonna disagree with, but this is another damn thing, you know what I'm saying? And I know it's late for this one, but I was wishing more people would have came on for this one. But listen, this shit here, you know what I'm saying? This the ADOS thing and the FBA and the Pan African argument, like, yo, I think that's ridiculous. And to keep contributing to it, you know what I'm saying? I do think that's a little bit coonish to keep contributing to it, like, you know what I'm saying, like, on both sides, you know what I mean? Because all you're talking about is self-hatred and why other black people deserve this and that, you know what I'm saying? I do think there's a little bit of weakness. And if you don't think, and let me say this, you know what I'm saying, because this is supposed to be fake, quote unquote fake, you know what I'm saying? But we can't act like the last 600 years haven't happened and isn't a repeated strategy, you know what I'm saying? So like people try to say this is fake, and this is National Security Council Memorandum 46, you know what I'm saying? And this white boy here, you know what I'm saying, was saying Black Africa and the US movement, you know what I'm saying? So the president has directed that a comprehensive review be made of current developments in Black Africa from the point of view of their possible impacts on the Black movement in the United States. Now, even though this is supposedly false, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you this: in the 1804s and 1800s, early 1800s, when the movement was going on in Haiti, you know what I'm saying? That was definite. And why do you think they stopped the slave trade? You think it was out the goodness of their hearts? It was because they didn't want trouble making Negroes. They finally learned that it was easier to make a slave out of somebody who never knew slavery before than it was to out of somebody who had known freedom or had come from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And not only did they mix the people up in doing slavery so they couldn't communicate with each other, even if you think you from a different tribe, they spoke different damn languages. So shut up about that, whatever you disagree with. You know what I'm saying? They used people who didn't speak the same thing, had different traditions, so they wouldn't agree, and they continue to do that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And when they had movements like the Haitian Revolution, that did impact, you know what I'm saying, them ending the slave trade in 1808, you know what I'm saying? Because one of the main movements for Thomas Jefferson, who they tried to make an abolitionist and stuff like this, he was not concerned about the righteousness of bringing human beings in and killing them and enslaving them and raping them and all that stuff. He was in fear that, number one, they was going to destroy a white America. You know what I'm saying? Number two, that these Negroes would go against them. That has been one of the biggest things to America. You know what I'm saying? You know, movements where Black people are uniting and coming together. That's definitely one of the things. So, proposal for durable contracts between radical African leaders and leftist leaders of the U.S. Black community. Now, I don't know what's up with this leftist stuff, and Black people is crazy if they talk about they are damn Marxists, because Marxists would have had you at the bottom of their whatever. You know what I'm saying? But radical African leaders, oh yeah, I don't think my woman should be raped, and I don't want to go by. Let me just tell you what a savage is. A savage is somebody who doesn't bow down to a European law, deity, or a person, you know what I'm saying? Or a god, you know, whatever, you know. All right, so the contact between them, who's always played the middleman, you know what I'm saying? They tell them one thing, they tell us another thing, you know what I'm saying? And with the internet has kind of leveled the playing field where we can kind of communicate with each other. But, you know, our lack of actually wanting to be in control of our own destiny has led us to argue with them instead of each other now, you know what I'm saying? Like, or however you want to put it, you know? So it allows people in Africa to unite as quote unquote Africans against Black people, whatever. And I'm not saying all people, because as we can see, because they would say Black people in America do that too. And you know what I'm saying? It allowed Black people in America to stop fighting and unite against them, you know. Appropriate. So number three, appropriate steps to be taken inside and outside the country in order to inhibit any pressure by radical African leaders and organizations on the U.S. Black community for the latter to exert influence on the policy of administration towards Africa. Now, didn't a Black organization just get raided or something like that? But you know what? You know, listen, it's tough to even talk about it because we're not even ready to have political conversations to where, like, yo, you can everything being a tool. Your enemies fighting each other. You use your two enemies to fight each other. Even Queen Nzinga did that for the people who want to be on that. You know what I'm saying? What she used. Now, also, I wouldn't condone being on this oppressed people of all the world, of all people, and this ally stuff, because that is bound to get you set up. You know what I'm saying? But it is important for them to not let Black countries, Black people, whether that be leaders in Alabama and a Black leader in New York, to be on code, and a Black leader with a Black leader in California or Virginia or, you know, North Carolina or Ohio or whatever the most racist state is, Texas, whatever, you know. It's important for them not to be on code. Now, imagine a Black person in Mexico, Canada, New Zealand, Amsterdam, you know what I'm saying, Ghana, you know, the whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't take all people, just a network of people. And that influence is detrimental, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so this was going on in 1978 when your good old boy Jimmy Carter was president. And this is another one of those presidents like JFK who they try to be like, oh, the civil rights movement, he did this. See, this is why you got to be careful with stuff like this. And you're cooning, you know what I'm saying? The good why John Brown didn't exist, you know what I'm saying? The myth that you know as John Brown was not real. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. You will hear people be like, well, Harry, you believe the story of Harriet Tubman, but you will believe the story of John Brown. Even though if you actually look at it, because anybody tell me, right? You can tell me what John Brown did, right, to lead a revolution. Now, tell me how many times he actually did it, right? And tell me at what expense that he did it. Because y'all ain't asking no goddamn questions about John Brown. No, you're gonna ask a question about Harriet Tubman. Right, one of the most gangster Black people to live in America. And even if you say that it's fake, are you telling me that no black women have done something like that? Because you're retarded. And that's well, I don't even apologize for that. But you know what? You're not gonna question John Brown, are you? But John Brown does not exist. I don't understand how you don't get that. This is another John Brown here. If you're for JFK, yeah, you know how they be like on YouTube. If you like this video, you may also like this. This is Jimmy Carter for JFK. If you like JFK, you may also like Jimmy Carter. If you're cooned out enough,
When Jimmy Carter was growing up, segregation was the law of the land. That meant that African Americans and white citizens were not by law allowed to go to school together or to sit together at movies or on a train or on a bus. This was not just prejudice, this was by law discrimination.
All right, white boy.
And that's how Jimmy, and the people he relied on were African Americans.
Now listen, I'm gonna let this whole thing play. My childhood world was really shaped by black women. Yeah, because black women raise everybody, what they're such bad, whatever, that they have to have them breastfeed their own children because white bitches have the body of teenage boys. So I guess it's difficult for them to feed their own children, I don't know what the deal is, but they had to get black women to do this. And this was that era, you know what I'm saying? Like, now listen, my mom's generation was that generation where like, yo, I'm not going to be a maid no more, you know what I'm saying? And my grandmother, like, my grandmother was actually a hustler, you know what I'm saying? And she made a lot of money. She had businesses, you know what I'm saying? And then she eventually, only worked with black people. And I don't even know if she was on that radical black stuff because I was like too young. I was not even aware of that kind of thing. But, she worked in their home as a maid at a time, you know what I'm saying? And that was that whole generation, and a lot of them were raised by them, even though they had this disdain for us, you know what I'm saying? And it's not that they care, bro. It's that you stay in your goddamn position. It's a Negro is fine. What's his name said a joke, you know what I'm saying? Paul Mooney said a joke, you know what I'm saying? It's funny now that we was quote unquote free, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to live in segregated neighborhoods because, they call it, they had the redlining thing, which still goes on, and consider mission, how they gentrify the neighborhoods. But it's funny how we were sleeping in their houses and their beds and they on their property and doing the work when we was some damn slaves. You know what I'm saying? But we lazy now.
For African Americans. And when he went to the Naval Academy, he found a different situation where African American students were locked and all the naval planes. He had a different perspective, trying to bring African Americans more into the community.
Discrimination is over.
When he was elected governor of Georgia, in his inaugural address, he said
that the time for racial discrimination is over.
Now, if that's true, why the hell is Ahmaud Arbery daddy talking about, oh, thank God my son got killed because we got that lynch mob, you know what I'm saying? We finally got justice. All lives matter. If that's the case. Oh, man.
And he set an example as governor.
Wait, let me see. All right, there go a couple black people. Okay, there go a couple black people.
He set an example as governor by appointing more African Americans and other minorities and women to office before, hired by the African to run Luther King Jr. And he also was able to get Martin Luther King's father, Martin Luther King Sr., as a supporter, and others from the civil rights movement. So while he wasn't known nationally,
Now, while all of this BS was going on, because they talk about JFK too, but they don't talk about when even Martin Luther King people started being questioning him when they left him in jail. When they, because you do know the Birmingham letters, or I think that's the one, but they left him in jail for a long time, and JFK was sending them, oh yeah, we gonna do something. Yeah, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. Blah blah blah. And it took him so long to get Martin Luther King out that even his people questioned him. But this dude do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? During his inauguration, do you think they not had think tanks talking about the National Security Memorandum? Do you not think that they talk about the most dangerous threat to America is to stop the rise of the Black Messiah? Do you not think that that's what they do? You know what I'm saying? Do you not think that the Black identity extremists or the greatest threat is somebody who can electrify the people? You know what I'm saying? Or even in the age of people bombing their buildings while we go fight in their militaries, they're still saying you are the biggest threat. So do you not telling me that this ally is not the same as Bill Clinton, you know what I'm saying, Joe Biden, JFK, LBJ, who said, I'll have these N-words, I'll say niggas, voting Democrat for the next 200 years? Come on, man. See, I was going to play this, you know what I'm saying, but I'm going to move on, man. So listen, because and I'll end it here, you know what I'm saying, because I've been on for way too long. And I'll end it here, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us use this MLK thing like, oh, I'm not racist and I'm not, you on some black supremacy stuff. Bro, what is not being a black supremacy is not saying you want control of your own neighborhoods. Not saying that you want to be able to establish something and protect your children to make sure your children can never be harmed for the way that they look. This is a social construct that has been constructed. Now, I think that human is a species, you know what I'm saying? And obviously the same thing has been going on and if, like I said, if I'm wrong, it's been 3,000 goddamn years, you know what I'm saying? But we will also use this, you know what I'm saying? We just want to teach everybody, even this 5%er thing, because I've been using this 5%er logic throughout this. The 5%ers say we got to teach all the people the knowledge. That's the job of the 5%ers, you know what I'm saying? Because we love everybody. And they try to use Martin Luther King. We try to use Martin Luther King. They use Martin Luther King so much that we use Martin Luther King. And we try to be like, it wasn't violence. It wasn't the way our people protested and begged and pleaded our way to freedom and just, no, our people fought. It wasn't, oh, well, not all white people is bad. It wasn't, well, whatever. They said, if they take us out, you take one of them out. Ida B. Wells said, there's a place for a Winchester rifle in every black home. That should be a special place. And the year before Martin Luther King died, there was more riots than after he got killed, because it wasn't the begging and pleading for whatever. It was black people being on this code, you know what I'm saying? Because we saw the Moynihan report, right, when they talked about it in 1965, but this is 1967 when black people was in the streets together, you know what I'm saying, before the gender wars, quote unquote, before the diaspora wars, quote unquote. And see, it wasn't this strategic thing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because we didn't have think tanks. We react. We don't respond, we react. And see, even this reaction was more powerful than what it is now. But that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we can't be sensitive and all of this stuff. There's a difference. But let me play this.
Interviewed a lot of people about why the riots happened, from the police on the front lines to the military who cleared the streets to the clergy who lived among the mistreated. They all had a different take on why the riots broke out 50 years ago.
It may look different now, but this is the corner where the rioting broke out 50 years ago on July 23, 1967. Detroit police raided an after-hours Blind Pig. 82 people celebrating the return of 2 black servicemen from Vietnam. All were arrested, but crowds outside grew after rumors of excessive force by police. By morning, the unrest had spread. Wendell Anthony, president of the NAACP.
The number one issue when they looked at what happened in Detroit, which caused it, was the police department and people feeling as though there was an army of occupation.
Looking back 50 years later, why it happened depends on who you talk to.
You couldn't move to certain places. You couldn't shop at certain places. You couldn't go to certain theaters and movies and things like that. And so all these things were built up and they led to people being extremely angry.
See, that's the difference. See, even then, you know what I'm saying? The Coons could not deny the racism. Today they can. And this is what I try to tell you, right? And that's why I be trying to mess with y'all with the cults and stuff. Yo, you have to update your information because, like, listen, this is, and when I say something, it's no disrespect to our greats, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I feel like they're speaking through me. But you know why certain things need to be updated? You know what I'm saying? It's because things are different. In 1919 and 1921 and 1927, I could have went to a black grocery store. I could have went to a black hospital. I could have have a black job, work for a black person today, but it's not as likely as it was back then, right? I would be in a black neighborhood in a house with something nice, you know what I'm saying? And there was a whole different mentality. I understood who my enemy was. Even the Coons understood the situation, even though they felt like, well, maybe if we explain it and show them, you know what I'm saying, like we still do today, right? I'm not saying, but even the 85% could not deny it and did not have an option to participate. See, we have this option where we think we have this option to participate, that we do not have no option. We all we got at the end of the day. And see, this is what needs to be updated because the illusion of inclusion did not exist 100 years ago, 75 years ago when Emmett Till was murdered. We still have the same press conferences, but there was no illusion of inclusion with them. So when we say we're not our ancestors, you're right. They didn't have the illusion of inclusion. Not to take anything away from us and the powerful things that we can bring, but that's why we got to understand it's time for us to leave our mark on the world and stop cooning and stop being hurt and all of this stuff from all of our past trauma. Because when we understood there was no illusion of inclusion and black men, women, children, all of us was on the same page and we stood up because we understood there was a greater enemy. But if we sit here talking about we's our worst enemy, like I'm starting to question if we understand what the enemy, what the goal, what the target is.
Greg Parada, a lifelong Detroiter, saw the rioting and the looting that ruined his neighborhood.
And it was not a race riot. It was more of an opportunity.
Willie Jackson saw tanks roll
heard this white
A
boy?
lifelong Detroiter saw the rioting and the looting that ruined his neighborhood.
And it was not a race riot. It was more of an opportunity.
Well,
now see, listen, I could be mad at that, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna tell you what the difference between a race riot and a race massacre is. Black people willingness to fight back, right? A riot is black people fighting back, right? And not letting it be a massacre. But you heard what that white boy said. This is an opportunity, right? There's an opportunity in everything that you can capitalize off, right? And not only opportunity, there is lessons to be learned. Like, don't ever let that shit happen again. But you understand that there's an opportunity, right? It's something that can be built off of all of this. And especially if there's no illusion of inclusion.
Willie Jackson saw tanks roll down his street. He believes people were hopeless.
Basically, it was jobs.
Larry Pyler left Detroit in 1971.
I think that it was the
community unrest.
Now, I'm playing this because, you know, they're trying to show it like it was now. But let me tell you something. Black people was going to war because they understood the position they were in. And no matter the disagreements, I'm not saying black men and black women we probably had the same arguments and stuff for, you know what I'm saying, 40,000 years, but we forgot it in the last 3,000 since they've been invading us because we're sick in the head. And now we argue about somebody else's problem. I'm not saying everything was perfect, but I'm saying I'd rather it be the way that it was for us, and not only be the way that it was, but create something that was even greater, because you know what? There was one glaring weakness. And you can't tell me that it wasn't a glaring weakness, because we've been enslaved 2 times, and Bakari would say 3 times in the last 1,000 years. That's something you definitely got to improve on. And it most likely got to be allowing white bitches in your circle, allowing white bitches to have black children. What kind of crazy stuff is that? Right? This quote unquote black on black crime, this quote unquote illusion of inclusion. And most importantly, calling somebody else the goddamn queen. I say the revolutionary matron because she is the revolutionary matron. I'm not going to say that bitch is no the queen. Y'all straight coon out. And y'all don't want to be on because, oh, well, black people hurt me. You know what? I failed. I ain't going to say, and I use this word, I failed, because we didn't build enough money in the time frame that we needed. And it wasn't even a big thing. And we take failure as the wrong thing, because you know what? In life, sometimes that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? You don't succeed, you don't succeed, you don't succeed. Then you know what? You succeed. I would never give up. I would never stop. But yo, the level of cooning, the mindset that we have, and this is not the 85%, this is the 5%. Y'all straight cooned out. Y'all spooked out and cooned out. And see, I'm not as hard on the coon, but I got probably harder criteria for what is a coon. And a lot of y'all would fall into that criteria. Now, like I said, if you wanted to call me out, I stayed on here extra long. If you wanted to call me out for my coon stuff, you can call me out for whatever it is you feel like I'm a coon. Matter of fact, let me show you this, because I'm not even going to play this video, because this would have been a coon move of me. But you know what? I could have played this video, but this white boy trying to take down this sister, I'm not going to do that. And she said a lot of cool stuff, and she's talking about she makes the laws, but she's sitting here trying to push this, you know, whatever stuff. And if you ever heard of Kim Daniels, who is a pastor and a politician, but it'd be a cool thing of me to do, to play this white boy trying to embarrass the sister. Yo, get that weakness out of your blood. We are so damn weak, man. You find every damn excuse and every damn reason. But no, I'm wrong for saying this. You know what I'm saying? I'm weak because yo, I got more faith in black people than most people, so I'm weak. But you give other people a damn pass, and you stop saying you don't, because you do. Because if you don't never got smoke for them and always got smoke for yourself, there's something wrong there. Because if you didn't have a black role model in your home, then that should have been the first red flag that something was wrong. And a lot of that is born out of trauma. And I get that we operating out of trauma, but it's getting crazy and it's sick. And I'll never give up on black people, but I gotta say this. I just had to get it off my chest. Because if I say the stuff with what happened in Chicago, you know what, black people, no, we kill each other. Yo, black people is not that damn violent. If we was, then we wouldn't be in this situation in the first place, man. I'm like, yo, that's crazy to me. And it's not only that. I was talking about a specific thing that is mad proof that it keep coming back to me. Only shows something that I found, and then like 3 or 4 times it came back to me. You know what I'm saying? But no, we got to be like, well, no, black people is crazy. Black people do definitely. Bro, everybody does crime, bro. Like the worst people, but most black people is not damn criminals. When we talk about murder and stuff like this, if you actually look at the murder statistics, most people is the violent crime is the least of amount of prisoners. And that's for all races. Now, see, they try to do that account for population thing, but most prisoners are white people. And most murderers are white people. And in fact, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying with the black on black crime, because George Zimmerman wouldn't be in jail because he didn't get convicted. So what counts as black on black crime? But that's neither here nor there. See, we gonna go with the propaganda and say, well, you know, my experience in Ohio was this one black person shot somebody sometimes, so I don't believe that. So it's more believable that black people is savages. See, that's y'all don't understand that that's the kind of stuff that y'all saying, man. A lot of y'all got coon passes in y'all. A lot of y'all say coonish things, but you don't think it is. And it's crazy because it's people that would come on here that would get classified as a coon in a heartbeat would say, oh, well, we need to go after the coons first. And they would be one of the first people go after. It's crazy. See, this is what happened when you don't know what your enemy is, man. But, you know, I ran it long enough. You know what I'm saying? The new Moynihan report is, you know what I'm saying? I got faith in the people. But we generally cooned out right now. And I'm talking about 100% of the people. We suffer from Stockholm syndrome. You know what I'm saying? I say black syndrome because we ain't from no damn Sweden. And I got faith. As soon as we realize we ain't got no choice, we all we got. You know what I'm saying? All we got is each other. Then I know that we're going to do it. I don't have no problems. I don't have no nothing, no hangups about that. But I'm just saying, man, yo, remember who the damn enemy is. Remember what the goddamn goal is. All right, and never lose sight of that. And don't let whatever results discourage you, because that's all you can do is just to keep going. To keep trying. You know, what else are you going to do? And if you don't, just shut up and assimilate. Stop trying to be in these conversations. Stop trying to have these discussions because you're wasting time. We wasting time just by being on here talking, but at least you can have educational moments. You know what I'm saying? We can learn history. We can learn, you know, what's going on in the world right now. You know, we can, you know, see what's going to happen. But we're pretty much still wasting time if we're not putting action in, man. It's not the coons that stopping you. It's you, because if that's the case, then you the coon because you stopping yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you may want to ask yourself that. And you know, there's no such thing as John Brown. Nobody is coming to save you. The sky is not going to crack. The sky cracked. I'm wrong. The sky cracked 600 years ago, 700 years ago, right? And we the people that came through. So if we don't make the change, then nothing is going to happen. John Brown is a figment of our imagination. All he did was get a bunch of black people killed because people don't even know. He tried to do two things. You know what I'm saying? Now, I got one question. Show me where John Brown killed anybody or did anything. I can show you how many black people he got killed. And another thing, show me where John Brown felt like black people should have equal, even the stuff, the equality, because, well, not the equality. We don't want equality. We want comfort. Show me whether John Brown was even down for the damn comfort, because he still felt like you was just a Negro, but slavery is wrong. Some people feel like police sitting on somebody's neck for 10 minutes is wrong, but do they want the system to be destroyed? No. Because Moynihan tells you, you know, well, black people are savages, but it's because of X, Y, and Z. No, not that we're not savages, but we're savages because of what white. We're not no damn savages, man. Shut the hell up with that, man. Stop being a coon. Don't even fall for that liberal coon stuff, because that's that white savior complex. There was a brother named Emperor Green they made a movie about. You know what I'm saying? And the movie was not accurate or whatever, you know. But he was one of the brothers who was with John Brown. Do you even know him? Emperor Green? I didn't think so, but you know, goddamn John Brown. And we like, well, we got to stand up for the John Browns or the allies. The difference between an ally and a tool, because you use a tool when you need to use a tool. If I need to hammer a nail in, I'm gonna pick up a hammer. You know what I'm saying? If I need to drill something in, I'm gonna pick up a drill. See, an ally, we expect friends. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Ain't nobody scratching your damn back. No, I'm gonna use you as the tool that you are, because at the end of the day, we are all we got, and you don't need nobody to save you. You ain't no damn savage. You can forgive yourself and forgive each other. Don't let your trauma dictate your future. And most importantly, man, stop cooning, because when y'all say all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying, and I'll be nice to y'all, you know what I'm saying, because I'm not hard on the coon. I get it. But to me, a lot of the stuff that we be saying is coonish. Yeah, so I'm gonna let this be my because a lot of the stuff I want y'all to hear how y'all be sounding. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta hear how y'all sound, because when I hear y'all talking about a lot of this stuff y'all say, and I'm not hard on the coon, so I let a lot of this stuff slide. But I know y'all try to be hard on the coon, but you know what I'm saying? This is how y'all sound to me too, even them, you know what I'm saying? But even the 5%ers.
I thank God for slavery. I thank God for the crack house. If it wasn't for the crack house, come on somebody, God wouldn't have never been able to use me how he can use me now. And if it wasn't for slavery, I might be somewhere in Africa worshiping a tree. I thank God for slavery. I thank God for the crack house. If it wasn't for the crack house, come on somebody, God wouldn't have never been able to use me how he can use me now. And if it wasn't for slavery, I might be somewhere in Africa worshiping a tree.
Now I'll tell you what, right? Now a tree has given me more life than this programming that we have gotten. I can hold the orange in my hand, I can eat it, get sustenance, you know what I'm saying? An apple, I can eat it, get sustenance, I can sit in the shade. That's all I'm saying, man. Yo, wake up, man. Yo, maybe your traditions, maybe your lifestyle, maybe the way you thinking, maybe the way you look, the hair that grows out of your head, your children, your mom, maybe we are worth it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we are good enough. No, maybe we are great. No, maybe we are the greatest. No, in fact, we are the greatest. Understand that. You know what I'm saying? You don't need no validation. You don't need nobody else, man. All you need is yourself. Because at the end of the day, we got, man. Yo, thank you, MG2. Thank you, Ross and Carl, Tracy. Yo, Cassandra and Guy, I appreciate y'all for coming on here. You know what I'm saying? That person in the chat never said nothing else after that. But that's how you handle the trolls, you know what I'm saying? Stop letting them control y'all. That's what I didn't get. You know what I'm saying? Why do y'all let them throw y'all off y'all game? You know what I'm saying? It's a tool, man. It's an opportunity, man. Come on, man. But thank y'all for listening to me, man. Go on my little rant. I had to get that off my chest, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm sick of it, you know what I'm saying? If you're not gonna do anything, and this is myself included, you know what I'm saying? First of all, if you feel like, thank God for slavery because you be in Africa praying to a tree, or you wouldn't have the technology that you have or anything close to that, then shut up and go assimilate and stop being in these circles or having these conversations. You can do what you want to, but what's the point? Just shut up and go assimilate and be happy, right? And for the rest of us, you know what I'm saying, either we gonna talk about it or we gonna be about it. You know what I'm saying? We done enough talking, and I had to get my talk off tonight, so I'm included. But thank y'all for listening to me go off. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we gonna keep falling for anything.